behind his deck. Double D? Yeah, man. Well, turn it up, man.
Let's just go in and, like, kill all the orcs, right? They're the bad guys, who gives a shit? We just hack and slash and we loot their dead bodies, right? Hack and slash, kill them all, you know, conquer the infidels.
Boy, that campaign sounds like a barrel of fun, doesn't it?
Somebody who's opening a refrigerator and leaning in, right, is the language of a woman. Somebody who's opening the refrigerator and being cut off halfway through that lean is the voice of like a mermaid or a siren, right?
This is not the face of the hobby anymore. And I think there's been mistakes made in years past where people assumed that D&D players were all, you know, white dudes in a basement. Which has been a faulty assumption for a lot of years and gets more and more false every day. And so it's, in my viewpoint, honestly, guys like me can't leave soon enough.
I just had to be born with empathy and a weakness for socialism and femboys. For socialism and femboys.
For socialism and femboys.
You gotta put a little hot sauce on the taco, you know what I mean?
We want this dwarf to be the dwarfiest dwarf.
Right.
We want the elf to be the elfiest elf.
And just the dashiest dash of Tabasco.
Their voices need to carry across water.
I'm a creative. It's a huge drain, right? Because fans can be awful.
Al zurdo de mierda no le podés dar ni un milímetro.
¿Me podés definir zurdo de mierda que no
Todos
lo
los que, digamos, los colectivistas, los que ponen, digamos, o sea, esa idea... A ver,
¿Por qué le pones de mierda, digamos?
Porque son una mierda.
You say white lives matter, they don't. White lives don't matter because white lives aren't a thing.
I disagree. Gary.
Lutherville, Marina Del X, Otisburg. Who's this monster? She's got her own place. Otisburg. It's a little bitty place. Otisburg. Okay, I just wiped it off. That's all. It's a little town. Yep.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
5, 4, 3.
Great sandwich.
Thank you. I enjoyed having you here. You're a very good co-host.
Man, your sinewy muscles are just ripped. And look how your gleaming sweat just comes off your golden body. And the women are just looking the same. And all of them want
Double D.
All
right. Woohoo! You guys are forewarned. Crazy Mouse now has a soundboard at his disposal.
That's bad news for everybody.
Why don't you could introduce yourself with your own special soundbite?
Well, I will do that, but let's also introduce our good buddy Rogan's in the house. Hi.
I was going to get to him. Oh, well, there we go. Yeah. Make this as schlocky as possible.
I'll make mincemeat out of you, mouse.
There it is.
It's so weird. I'm so technologically not advanced, yet my job is working with high-tech apps like all day long.
Yeah, logistical apps. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you come here, you got even
Double
more.
D has made this like... He wrote out a thing for me, like, make sure this is not red, like, everything, like...
Yeah, it can't be
he's
red.
Trying to make it idiot-proof for me. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Can't be red, yeah. How is every look at this chat already? Holy
Blowing
smokes.
up. Yeah.
70. Oh, Hungar here. Oh, wait a minute. Let's...
Krugus is in the house. I saw
Krugus,
him.
yep. Best YouTuber all around. Hungar the Starvarian. How you doing, buddy?
Every time I see Clark Whitten, I think of Clark Griswold.
Nice. Patty's here. Who else? Jeez, I saw the gang is all here, I think. Cobanizer. Haven't interacted with Cobanizer.
Never been here from like one of the OGs. Remember Chef?
Oh, yeah, Chef Hans. Yeah.
Larry Jecko's in the house.
Yeah. People come, people go, you know. Maybe I just...
open door policy.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, look.
Howard Hughes is in the house. Bleeker.
Oh, yeah. Howard Hughes. How you doing, buddy? Bleeker. Yep.
Torah.
Yep. All right. Holy smokes. I think we, if we go all the way down, I think we already have, we already have some things to call out there.
Yeah.
Go ahead if you want to do the honors.
We got Mercurius.
Yes.
Yep. What was the last one in the intro? What's that from, Double D?
Oh, that'll be something we're going into a little bit later. That is Matt, the guy who hates Conan.
Oh, that's Soyboy.
What was that last one? Yeah, that's who that was.
And we got
Matt.
Hungar.
Yep.
The Defender.
Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. It means a lot.
They're coming in hot and heavy.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
James Gang.
Yep. Must have re-up, James. God bless
Thank
you guys.
you guys so much.
That is awesome.
Matt McGurk is like, Soyclops? Yes, that's our name for the one and only Indestructo boy. I've been watching, I think I told Crazy Mouse this. Have you ever seen Northern Exposure?
Oh, a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Show from the 90s. I think they just put it on, or maybe we just found it.
On Prime, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on Prime.
Female lead in that is beautiful.
Janine Turner. Oh yeah. When you see her with especially with I'm not a short hair guy, so
I don't mind the pixie cut.
It works. It works a little bit with her, but if you've ever seen her back in the day with long hair, oh my lord, she is a knockout.
You know who had a pixie cut? Mary Boss.
No, yeah, that's right.
Mary, if you're out there listening, just give me a one.
Yeah. Just give me
Mary, if you're listening anywhere out there under any of these names, just type in one.
Uh-oh. Bam.
Damn, there it is. Boom. Mercurius, $2. Now remember, you gotta drop.
I will.
You gotta
click
drop
it on him too. One step at a time, Double D. Holy cow.
Happy belated birthday. Yeah, yesterday was his birthday. Robert E. Howard. God bless him. Yeah, God. He was only in his 30s. I think he might have just been 30, maybe.
Young, freaking young.
72 million. That's right, Panther.
Yes.
God. Best thing, circling back to Janine Turner, best thing about her? Libertarian.
I just liked how she always would say Fleischman.
Fleischman. Oops.
And I never watched it. I just know what you're talking about.
Patrick Demo, are you a new member? Thank you so much. Just again, I don't know if you're re-upping. He's just going to shoot everybody, I guess.
Welcome.
You know what Double D asked me? He goes, "Are there any sounds on there that you want to add?" I just thought of one. How about that dog from Duck Hunt?
All right. It's yours next week. Yeah, it's yours. Thank you guys so much for supporting us in our little endeavor here.
We got another
one.
one.
God, look at this. So you guys are TKHFG. Welcome to Just Sticky R.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, TKHFG. TKAFG. It sounds like a stormtrooper, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
TK421. Why aren't you here? TKKFG. You're right where you should be.
You did get your bourbon, right? He left a little bit ago to get his bourbon.
Oh, really? Nice. What is that? Does that stand for anything, TK? Let us know if it does. Oh, Cursey Egg. Why don't you give him the Joker treatment there?
Absolutely.
Mouse.
Hold on.
That's right. Curious if you enjoyed Conquest. When I watched it, now keep in mind, I watched it a few years ago. Like I said, when Pew Pew and I can get together and do our next one, which is hopefully going to be soon. By the way, thank you so much, Cursivig, for $10 Canadian. I was a little underwhelmed. It's one of Pew Pew's favorites. So I'm going to give it a fresh look.
That's probably quite, if you think about it, for the amount of knowledge he has with movies, for him to maybe say something like that, it must be really good.
Well,
I don't think he throws that around like maybe Gavin does. Like Gavin has probably said, in all fairness, 50 movies are in his top 5 movies of all time.
It's true. Yeah, Pew Pew knows he knows a good schlock
so
movie.
If he would say something like, "Oh, I really like that one," that must be really a high praise.
High praise in like a schlocky way. Like he's under. I don't think he would be under any misconception that it's nothing but kind of a low budget movie. But he says, hey, he did like a lot of stuff with like a little bit of budget. So yeah, Conquest is on our radar.
We got a clarification on something.
Demo, but I'm happy. My last name, Patrick Demo.
There you go. Not
there
demo.
We go. Happy to join. Been a lurker for a while. Thank you so much, Patrick.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Welcome aboard.
You guys keep me honest, because I see that and all I see is demo. But I am going to make it. I'm going to drill it into my head, Patrick. Demo. Say it with me, boys.
Demo.
All right. Anything new in the gig app world?
No, I mean, I got to
crazy
take
mouse.
someone to the airport tomorrow, but nothing major.
What about you? Anything? How's the welding business, Rogan?
The welding business is
it tight?
frustrating. Yeah, we had a chief stewards election that went epically awful sideways. Because when you get a bunch of grown men together with, low intelligence and massive egos, things don't go smoothly.
You like to refer to your coworkers as Morlocks, do you not? Yes.
Not all of them, but most of them, unfortunately.
Big pallid dum-dums.
Jeffrem Denkar, our old friend, $5 Canadian. Thank you very much, Jeffrem Denkar. I see him here. I see him on Twitter. I see him everywhere. I see him in my dreams.
I could eat it in a box. I could eat it with a fox.
This Matt guy is upset with Conan. He'd likely lose it over Solomon Kane. Oh, yeah. Also, any personal favorite stories? Robert E. Howard stories. Like, actually, before we were going on, I know it's kind of a... It's kind of a cop out, but like Red Nails, we both like. That's Rogan's favorite, right?
Oh yeah,
from the ones you've read.
All are, but that one right there for some reason really resonated. Something about it.
Yeah, I like Red Nails, but then I also like the one, and I can't remember the name, where it's all on the border, like the Pict border, and Conan has to kind of help lead essentially like a retreat. He finds some guy in the at the beginning of the story. Who kind of tags along with Conan for a while, and and then of course, if you haven't read it, read it. It's very good. Tower of the Elephant is really good for like the D&D, sorcery, that aspect. In fact, Mongoose released a Tower of the Elephant scenario, and I did run some folks through that. I think it was more family, but they really liked it. Tower of the Elephant. There's, quite frankly, it's an embarrassment of riches, really, because unlike a lot of writers of that time, there's not a lot of heavy exposition. Even though this retard we're gonna look at later thinks there is. I mean, that guy should read some H.P. Lovecraft. Beyond Thunder River. I think that's it. Yeah, Larenjaco. Yeah. It's a fantastic story. He got better as they went along. So that third compilation, the stories are a little longer, but man, he had really hit his stride by that time. But that's not to say the early ones weren't any good, because they were fantastic too. God and the Bull, that's another D&D style, like robbing a house and then figuring out what lurks in the heart of it. God, I love all those stories. I'll have to go back and reread Solomon Kane. I haven't read those in a while. I haven't read much Conan, but it has me curious if he is a Mary Sue or not. In a kind of a way. He has like an arc. You know right away. The very first story has him as a king. And then I think the next one, or, maybe it's the second one after that, he's like starting out. I think maybe Tower of the Elephant might be one of the very first ones chronologically. Is he a Mary Sue? By modern standards, probably a little bit of a one, but a glorious Mary Sue. You have to remember the era these were written in too. He had to keep kind of keep this money train going, with Conan. He had a great character, and, he wasn't about to kill him off. That's the mistake that Conan Doyle made with Sherlock Holmes. So he had to kind of bring him back in kind of a cheesy way. which is fine because there were great stories written by Conan Doyle, about Sherlock Holmes after he quote unquote killed him. So yeah, bit of a Mary Sue. Yeah, maybe it, but he's just, like I said, he's just a badass. Yeah, Greg is here. Greg, it was great playing last night. I hope some of you guys were able to catch that. Greg showed us privately. He has a trailer for Dragon Slayer. Oh, you guys are gonna like this. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. He's thinking, maybe in the next, maybe couple weeks, 3 weeks, maybe things will be ready. He's kind of beholden to drive-through RPG, so it's still out of his hands. Apparently, they're still. Let's put that up there. Hold on one second.
Which one? I didn't see it.
I got that one. Yeah, no, Conan has never a Mary Sue. The universe does not bend to Conan. Conan takes many losses and stories. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I guess he's a. Yeah, see, I knew I'd get myself into trouble with that. Keep in mind, he is my favorite character, and Robert E. Howard is my favorite writer. Is he ever in danger? Yes. Does Howard ever kill him? No.
Conan's your favorite character in literature?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I did not know.
Yep.
I would have guessed somebody else.
Now there's a lot of people up there, but
you mean it's not Jon Snow?
I would have picked somebody from that series. That's who I would have picked.
King Stannis Baratheon. Yeah. I gotta say, my love for Stannis Baratheon, it wavered a little bit with what the show did to him. Now in the books, as far as I know, good Lord, we're still waiting on, was it book 6 or whatever? Oh God, what a. Enough about that. But the fate that Stannis had in the TV show was just so out of character for what I would have thought Martin would have written.
I agree.
To sacrifice his own daughter.
Was that part already not in the books?
Well, the books haven't caught up to that yet.
Okay, to that part. Okay.
Yeah, they haven't caught up. But good Lord, oof. Yeah, I love the Stannis Baratheon of the early Martin books. He's a fantastic character. Yeah, but Conan is still. He's the best.
Do you have a favorite character?
Oh gosh, I don't even know. I honestly, certainly Conan's up there. It's I guess whoever the lead character is of the book I'm reading at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that either. Yeah, Mongoose first edition. I have a wall of books over there. I collected those, and I'm damn glad I did. I think that may have been the best iteration of Die 20 that I have seen. It was a beautiful system. I loved that in that Conan game you could get hit points back just by drinking alcohol. That should be a house rule in every game.
I think at the time we were drinking a lot of alcohol at that time.
Yeah, we were. Yeah. Well, that's when I'd give you bonuses to rolls for every bottle. God, what a bad rule that was.
Well,
bad house
I can
rule.
See, that house rule notwithstanding, but gaining some hit points when you have a little bit of liquor in your system, I can see the adrenaline kicking in.
Call it beer muscles.
Well, sure. Think about those people on PCP and the superhuman things that they could do.
That's right.
Flacca.
Do you guys want to house rule it for we start up Castles and Crusades again this Friday? Do you guys want to house rule it?
I don't drink. I rarely drink anymore.
The only person
not your character.
Oh,
like one hit point back if you consume some alcohol.
Well, I think that would.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that part makes sense. I would think that consuming the alcohol you wouldn't get a hit point back because you'll be feeling the effects of it the next day.
Yeah, but it's sort of a literary. But that's realism. This is like a literary conceit.
Yeah,
it all came from Conan. Just whoops, we got one there. If you want to,
a temporary hit point.
Temporary is fine. Yep. Chris Miller, $5
makes you holla.
That's right.
Man, I'm thinking of so many things we could add to this soundboard just as we're sitting here.
Well, don't be afraid to use it there.
No. You said to think of ones that you could add.
Oh yeah. Jot them down too.
Yeah, I got them.
Yeah. Chris says, I still have the TSR Conan box set by Zeb Cook. Love the wall map. Anyone else ever play it? My friend Chris had the module like Conan Unchained. So I don't know if he had like the box set or if that was included. There were like 2 adventures I think that came out for first edition AD&D, Chris, as you probably know. It was Conan Unchained, and I think there was maybe another one too. And they were okay. I mean, they weren't quite frankly the adventures themselves weren't anything to write home about, but they were Conan. So I think actually Chris sold all of his D&D stuff to Gavin Morgan. I'll have to see if he has that in his collection. I think I do have the PDFs. I think I just...
If he sold it to Gavin, it's in his basement somewhere.
Yeah.
He's coming up with shit that you would have thought like, I would have pitched that, years ago.
Yeah, I'll have to get a... maybe I'll get a... like kind of an inventory of what he has. There might be some stuff there if he wants to
Door's
show
always
off.
unlocked. Just go when you know he's at work.
Yes. All right.
Jess, just don't pay any attention to that guy behind the mirror or the behind the curtain, like in
Wizards
of Oz.
Yeah. All right. Let's go over here. I got a couple things I want to show. First of all, those of you that follow me on Twitter, so this will give you a couple of appetizers here. And then there's 2 main things I want to talk about today, but let's give you a little amuse-bouche. Shall we? Catalyst Games Lab. These are the rats, the dirty effing rats that did Blaine Pardo dirty. The great Blaine Pardo.
That dude's a cool dude. I mean, straight up, that guy is a cool dude.
Crazy Mouse. You can't have it red when you're playing. It has to be the opposite of what you're doing. It's all right. Go ahead, drop it again.
It's. I gotta have it blue.
Keep it blue. Keep it blue.
You get nothing.
There you go.
You lose. Good day, sir.
Yeah, you don't have to turn it back. By the way, keep it that way.
You can just keep it blue.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Oh.
Keep it blue.
I thought you had to have it. I thought you had to press it every time. I didn't know.
No. You can keep it that way. I'll do it for any videos that we play. See, we are training the mouse to be dangerous with this soundboard. So these are the retards that really screwed Blaine Pardo. One of their most prolific authors. They made this announcement on Twitter. Catalyst Games Lab has been busy behind the scenes. Busy little bees, as they say. Hey, that's another sound.
I know there is one. Yep.
I did do one of that.
I saw.
Did you see that one? Yeah. Sure.
That's on page 2.
Yeah. Excited by community-driven projects. With these projects, we've been hard at work updating our community guidelines. These guidelines will be in effect across all platforms that are operated by CGL. This will include our forums and social media accounts. Patrick Demo. Got it.
I like it.
Got it. Give him a joker there, Todd. He deserves it. New member.
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
That's right. Remember that, Patrick Demo. I think you meant amuse douche. I like the cut of this guy's jib.
Already.
I like the kind of Hey, Bleeker, you better watch yourself, man. This guy might be gunning for you.
This guy's bringing the cornbread.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Go ahead and throw that off there. Thank you. Continuing. Thanks again, Patrick. Apparently Catalyst have been busy little bees behind the scenes. Our game systems, here we go. Got to say this, even though it's implied nowadays. I mean, okay. Our games are for everyone. Derogatory comments about things including, but not limited to, race, religion, culture, disability, career, sex, sexual orientation, or gender identity are not acceptable and will not be excused in these spaces. I got a feeling that if you were to say something about white people, like, hey, white people, right? I don't think they're going to do much. That would be my guess.
White dudes.
Yeah, white dudes. Like,
Who's
what are
the
we going
villain
to do?
of this particular module? White dudes. who's the villain of this story?
Who's the Karen?
Another white dude.
Oh God,
it's a shame. I thought years ago. I thought kind of highly of Catalyst.
Yeah, because they always had that at Gen Con. They always have like the booth, like right where you walk in.
Yeah.
Don't they? They always have one of the prime booths. When we go this year, I'll make sure to flip them off.
Flip their table.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There you go. Day 4 on our way out. Fuck you!
Have some gasoline in your water bottle. Just squirt it on there and start a fire.
Which one of us can run through the hall and accidentally trip through their little area there, knocking their dice over?
Oh, dude, I'm so sorry.
Fucking Carter's tripped me.
Hold on one second here. Let me grab this one here. See what Ironcaster. Hey, Ironcaster, how you doing? One of our stalwarts. Just like so many others here. If I neglect to mention you guys, there are so many of you now. I will always try to call you out if I can. Thank you so much for your support. Apparently, Catalyst took over a fan group that was going out of their way to demo the game at game stores. They ran out the people that ran the group. Really? I'm going to guess that they weren't black if they ran them out. I'm going to guess they were probably white.
It's the new version of urban renewal. Just going in and displacing people, in their games and.
Oh yeah, it's a good one for James too. He is I think James is a Second Amendment guy.
He's a straight shooter.
Yeah. James Gang, DM James. Hope you're subscribed to his channel. Hope you're watching his live streams. One of my favorite YouTubers. I even joined in from work the other day. I had to kind of do it. I'm in the office 4 days a week now, which sucks.
You should get some earbuds.
I do.
Yeah.
I do have.
What are you listening to there, Double D? The Penske file. I had to download. I had my secretary download it to fucking whatever.
I'll try to do this in character, James. I've not eaten for days.
And who says you will?
That is a good line from the movie.
And who says you will?
Great line. Great movie. Love both Conan movies. Thank you, James. $5. Always appreciated, buddy. All right, so continuing the fun. Respect everyone's privacy. That means no publicly releasing private addresses or photos. Well, at least they're against doxing.
For us. For everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
For everybody else.
Something tells me they might look the other way. Protect the IP illegal use of any CGL intellectual property. It's forbidden. Breaking this rule will result in a warning with additional infractions, resulting in a ban. Participation is a privilege, not a right. God, just imagine a company, they're just lecturing you. I mean, there's so many of them do it nowadays, but God, it's just so weird to see. If it's determined that you violated the rules enough times or severely enough, you're going to be subject to immediate ban. Good Lord, they already have appeal process. I guess for their drumhead trials, they already have an appeals process. Hooray for that. Probably get better justice under Judge Friesler in Nazi Germany. This process will be determined by our community management team. Oh, boy. Odds on them having colored hair?
100%, yes.
Will vary by platform. Be enforced by the respective moderation teams of each space. Fucking Jannies.
Kind of like when you would go into a bar and maybe you didn't know all the patrons, but you knew what they drank. Oh, Bud Light's here, or whatever. Mm-hmm. What if you just did that? Like, I got to go see Purple Hair today.
Yeah, Purple Hair. Super chat from Ironcaster. Thank you. Oh yeah, I like that one. Yeah, that's a good one for him. He's a sexy man.
He is a sexy man.
Yeah, he's been on the show a couple of times, I think. Mage Leader did a video yesterday about what happened. All right, so Mage Leader. So I got to watch that after the show. Mage Leader. I'm going to actually write that down, Ironcaster.
Giving him some homework tonight.
Yeah, that's right. You guys keep me
You
on my
were
toes.
watching that game tonight. You are not.
that $5 came with some strings.
Yeah.
Homework. He talked to people from the group and has plenty of info. Oh, I can't wait to see this. Yeah, Catalyst blocked him on Twitter too. Yeah, they're blocking everybody. Ironcaster. I don't know if you've been blocked yet. I have. Of course, after that tweet I made. It's actually I did a tweet on this. And actually, it was like some of their new fans that they're courting, and of course they're trans weirdos. Let's just have it out there. That's who they're courting. Well, and all these weirdos are already replying to this post that they made on Twitter. So I just said, hey, here's what these MFers are doing. It's already got like 400 likes or whatever on Twitter. So people are very interested in this. Yeah. So yeah, I will. I'll follow up on this. This is something that's kind of interesting to me, only for the Blaine Pardo connection. Not huge into BattleTech, and of course I would never give him a dime now, but I kind of I've always respected BattleTech, and I do have that original, well, it's like a second edition, I think, box set or whatever. So I don't know, I may.
Everybody take a quick second and go and hit the thumbs up on this one. We're at 49 already.
Attaboy. Yeah, I am showing we have 149. That is our all-time high, guys. We keep setting records. Thank you so much. So very, very, very much.
So according to Black Lodge Games, we should have 149 thumbs ups.
That's right. Yeah.
Do the math there.
Yeah. Yeah. Black Lodge. They released a hilarious video. When you're done, when I'm done and off the air tonight, make sure to check that out. I love that they have they're going around with some big dick energy. They were going to do a video to compare Old School Essentials with Shadow Dark, and instead it was just this crazy narrative that Ginger Frazier did, and it barely had anything to do with it. And at the end, he's just like, whatever, I love that he's just like, we'll just do what we want. That is the kind of confidence that brings. That's the kind of milkshake that brings the boys to the yard.
Absolutely.
That's right. I haven't seen Cal. Cal sent me a video that we'll be watching here soon too. So if you're in here, buddy, thank you so much.
I have not seen him yet.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he has.
And Mary Boss hasn't shown up yet.
Yeah.
So.
No, nobody's hit that
Wait,
one.
Hold on. No Cal, no Mary Boss.
What's going on here? Yeah. Have they ever been in the same spot? All right, there's one other little appetizer I want to get to. And again, it's another thing I posted on Twitter, but I thought it would be good here too, because surprisingly few people follow on both. I mean, some do, and some of the bigger fans, but we all love Star Trek: The Next Generation, right?
Oh yeah.
Is that Wesley Crusher?
Well, yeah, you could have just said Jean-Luc Picard first. You didn't have to go to Will Wheaton first. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Shots fired.
We love you, Wesley. But remember Geordie LaForge, the man with the visor.
Yeah.
LeVar Burton, Kunta Kinte.
I remember LeVar Burton.
Toby, a.k.a.
Yep.
Kunta Kinte. Well, everybody thought, he's just playing a role. And, he's a lot of goodwill when he was in Star Trek: The Next Generation and Reading Rainbow. He really is a bit of unfortunately, he's turned into a bit of an unhinged, lunatic. So they did a DNA analysis and of him. And I want you to watch his face if you can. It's pretty early on. It was mine in one celebrity punch. Yeah. I'm with you, Hungar. I'm with you.
True story.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. Just watch this man's like face, and just his general demeanor.
Wow, that's him. You are looking at your great-great-grandfather, James Henry Dixon. It's difficult to.
All right, so someone who just found out his wife died in an auto accident. Someone who just found out he has stage 4 cancer. Is that what we're looking at here?
Make out that that is your bylaw.
Look at that face.
It's like 23andMe's worst commercial.
What do you mean my dad's not my dad?
Crazy Mouse bringing it too. Yeah. So his great whatever grandfather is a white guy. Not only a white guy, I don't know if they've said it yet, but
Logical great-great-grandfather.
Now, I'd have fought you 5 minutes ago if you told me that I had a white great-great-grandfather.
You do. You can fight me, but it's the truth. And ain't nothing you can do about it.
What? Kunta got white ancestry.
Yeah, that's right.
What?
Yeah.
Come on now, Skip.
You know, you took 2 DNA tests. The 2 major commercial DNA tests almost never have tested an African American who was 100% sub-Saharan African.
Wow.
We all have white ancestry.
But this is close.
That's right, but this is close, and by name.
That's not considered racism, is it?
No. Do you want to hear the best part?
Yeah.
That white ancestor fought in the Civil War on the side of the Confederacy.
Oh, well,
he has a Confederate great-great-great-grandfather. Does he have to pay reparations to other people now?
Technically, he does. If they pushed at it, I think can you pay it to yourself? I don't think they can.
Chris Miller, our old friend, the Mad Scribe. Remember, guys, if you want to support Chris, get that beautiful Mad Scribe magazine delivered to your door. Check out the affiliate link in the description. Helps him out mostly. Gives me a little. I get to wet my beak a little bit. Can you imagine if you or me reacted the same way to finding out we had a black ancestor? Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, what? Yeah, I mean, obviously for us. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I'm sure. I imagine it would be the same with us. For all you guys, we'd be like, oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah.
Whatever. You know. I don't care.
I've thought it all along.
I would say,
that's right. Yeah,
that explains
yeah.
a
Crazy
lot.
Mouse has always thought he has black blood in him. As Will Wheaton shits his pants and blocks LeVar. I'll play that. Will Wheaton. It's like a shiny object. I always I'm sort of attracted to that. I got to do a follow-up video on him. I think it's time. Yeah. So he found out. I guess his ancestor fought in the Civil War for the Confederacy, and he now has to live with that. Would you say he's lost some cred on the street?
His street cred went down.
It's just disappointing to see his reaction.
Yeah, it is. It is. That's what I think. That's what I said on Twitter. It looked like he just got diagnosed with leukemia or something. He's just just
like
looking down.
It could have been worse. Yeah.
And you know what? That motherfucker, every chick that he was into in Star Trek The Next Generation was white. Crazy Mouse. Just from the waist down. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Overkill Joe. How you doing? Yeah, there you go. All right. It's time for one of the main courses right now.
Meat's back on the menu, boys.
Because wouldn't it be great if I had a black ancestor and LeVar Burton had to pay me reparations? There you go. Yeah, that would twist things up a little bit. Thank you again, Chris. $5.
Ironic justice.
Yeah. All right. So I'm right now kind of in the middle of writing and working on a video, but I thought there's enough meat on the bone there that I could kind of break it up and talk about a little bit of it now, because it has to do with the MCDM role-playing game, Matt Colville. I've already did a video on Matt, and his political leanings. He doesn't like America very much.
My neighbor doesn't like America very much.
Why is
That's
that?
what. When you fly your flag like upside down, doesn't it mean like you're in distress?
Distress, yeah.
He flies his American flag upside down. Someone across the street keeps going over and ripping it down in the mornings, then he has to go and get it out of the bushes and put it back up.
It's like this. Maybe he's Republican and he doesn't like the way things are going. I still wouldn't fly it upside down. I don't know.
There's no reason to.
Doc Flamingo. Have we seen Doc Flamingo before?
That seems like a new one, but I'm not positive.
Oh, it's a good way to introduce yourself, Doc.
Yep. Top of the list.
$10. Give him a joker. Yeah. Give him a joker.
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
That's right. Dear LeVar, my great-great-grandfather fought for the 185th New York and was killed. Please send me a reparations check. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I got a feeling he's going to be hearing a lot of that, Doc, now that it's come out. And people wouldn't have said anything before if he hadn't been kind of such a douchebag, kind of a racial supremacist, which is what he is.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Doc.
Thank you, Doc.
Yeah, good to see you.
Just the fact that the bar is going, I would have fought you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have fought you.
I'd have fought you.
I'd have fought you.
That's my quarterback.
That's my quarterback. All right. All right, I got to, let me take over here for a sec. All right.
It's yours.
All right, so watch this video. We'll do a discussion with the chat, too, after.
A new wave of tabletop RPGs are looking to dump a classic mechanic.
Good, then get the hell out of my life. Who needs you? Beat it. Leave me alone.
We've been talking a lot about the upcoming wave of big RPGs coming out in the next couple of years. Daggerheart, the MCDM RPG, and the Stormlight RPG all look to shake up the role-playing zeitgeist, or at least provide fans of rolling dice and telling stories with some new ways to do just that. As we've been talking with some of the designers of these various games over the last few months, we've noticed that a lot of these new RPGs have something in common. They are all either removing the roll to hit an opponent, or they are at the very least mitigating it.
All right. I don't want to just play it. But I want to get a couple of quotes here. This is James, I think is his name, Introcaso, and he's for MCDM. So this is very important. Watch kind of what he says, because we will definitely discuss this. Oh, Weird Echo. There you go. Thank you. Thank you for keeping me honest there.
Shibuya, hold on a second here. Here we go.
Yep. Warren Johnson. We've definitely seen him. $10 Canadian super chat. Thank you so much, Warren. Unfortunately, I have to jet soon. Remember, if women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Until next time, keep your stick on the ice.
Amen.
There you go. Amen. Warren Johnson. Thank you.
Have a good rest of your night, but you can always listen to it later.
In the replays,
Yeah.
as they say. All right. Yeah, so let me...
I'm going to get rid of that. Hold on.
Go ahead. Yep. And I think this is important here.
There you go. It's yours.
Got rid of the echo, yeah. We got to... between Crazy Mouse and I over the next couple weeks, we're going to be on this. Yeah, every time I'm doing a video, I got to mute the desktop.
In our recent interview, MCDM's James Introcaso mentioned that a simple roll-to-hit mechanic usually results in about a 1 in 3 chance that a player misses and then does nothing of note on their turn.
The roll-to-hit, we don't have anymore. When you make an attack against somebody, you roll damage, and you deal them that damage. And that gets rid of the roll to hit, which is basically a roll to see if you have a turn, right?
Yeah.
That, like, if I roll a 1 on my turn, I'm just not doing anything. That's not fun. And it doesn't feel heroic. That can be good for some other pulp games or dungeon crawling games where it's like, oh wow, I really got to do this. But if you want to feel like a hero, you should be doing something effective every round.
It's a big feel bad.
Okay. So
I have a couple problems with this.
I do too.
By all means, the floor is open.
I just feel as though, let's say you're an archer and you pull back your bow, it could snap. You know, you don't need to be a hero or a non-hero for that to happen. Let's say you're charging. You know, we've had someone trip in a forest or whatever, and they drop their weapon.
Yep.
I get it. It's not heroic, but it's realistic.
I think
you are playing a game, right? Go ahead, Rogan.
Absolutely. There's been times in games where one character I can remember specifically, I missed an attack, and that ended up turning into a kind of a cinematic situation where I was being attacked after that, and I got missed, and I was able, because of my missed attack, I was able to go in with cinematically and the next round and end up hitting them. These things happen organically, and like you mentioned, you're slipping and falling and losing your weapon. I disagree with what this guy says.
Yeah, I mean, it is sort of the butterfly effect. You missed here, and that caused things to go haywire. Can you say participation trophy? Yeah, that's why I put it in the description. Thank you, Chris. $2. Yeah, we are sort of getting there now. So now it's like you have to be guaranteed a hit. If you don't hit, well, and a lot of what they say is, I roll and I miss, and then I got to wait around 20 minutes. All right, so I mean, unless this is a really, really complicated battle, you shouldn't be waiting 20 minutes in between your stuff.
Something's going wrong in their game.
Yeah, I would say that's maybe the DM's fault, possibly, for not
shared.
Things
I don't know
along.
about that, Double D. It could be shared. It could get to your turn and you don't know what the hell you're doing.
That's true, yeah.
How many times have you said, I need to know 5, 4, 3? It's the player needs to know. You know where you are in initiative. You know you have, let's say it's me. I don't know what I'm going to do. I got a minute till it gets to me. Think of something.
Yeah.
I've always liked it, and you shouldn't have to do this, but I've always liked it when you tell everyone, all right, hey, know what you're doing next. You know, because sometimes people are chattering and that, you know, like, all right, just know what you're doing next.
Yep.
You know?
Think about what's going on. Be ready to pivot, but also kind of have in your mind, okay, if things go the way I think they're going to go, what am I doing? And yeah, sometimes people are just, it's almost like you're waking them up out of a nap. All right, it's your turn. What?
I'm at McDonald's. I don't know what they have.
Yeah.
Do they have fries here? Fucking McDonald's hasn't changed in 50 years.
So yeah, this is something I really, really rebel against. And it is sort of a sign of the times, is it not?
It is.
It's you are now guaranteed a hit, but by being guaranteed a hit, it's pretty much just kind of like card counting after that, isn't it?
It is.
Like, okay, I do this amount of damage on average. You can pretty much say that enemy over there, because I know it's hit points, because I also bought the monster manual, that enemy will be down in 2 rounds on average. That one will be down in 4 rounds, so we got to focus on that first. You can really game this system. It's anything but heroic.
It is.
What is their definition of heroic? Someone who always wins?
The heroic is getting the little star sticker, participation sticker. I think not listening to the whole video, but I'm assuming the guy is failing to realize that if my character automatically hits all the time, then what does the villain do? Well, obviously he hits all the time.
And to be fair, I think that is the case here, but all right, so the MCDM, I can only speak for that one. All right, it's part of my video, but that game is 4th edition. I mean, it is. They like, your powers are almost meant to just sort of mitigate damage. In like, I can only speak for the MCDM because I've seen a sample combat. It ends up being rather boring. I got to watch a combat beginning to end, and it was done by people that knew what they were doing, even though the game isn't really out. It's not going to be out for a couple of years. They knew what they were doing. And I was just thinking, like, man, this is really just kind of boring. It's all like number heavy. And yeah, it's just like, okay, I do this and then I roll this damage. All right, well.
So the criticals are gone.
Well, criticals are there, but it's just damage. So if you roll like max damage, you get to do another action.
Okay.
But it just does not have the same
No, it doesn't.
hit. It doesn't have the same vibe to it. And I'm not saying don't try anything new. I'm not against something new.
It's like
but man,
speed dating.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the battle's going to be done really quick.
Yeah.
Because everybody hits.
No, like you're in there, you're up to your knees in goblins or whatever, like, and you got a good hero character. I'm going to hit almost every time, almost, right? Or if I have to roll to hit, well, then eventually a goblin's going to start stabbing me.
Yeah.
You're not going to be the uber hero in there. There's got to be danger in what you're doing.
Yeah, you'd think the combats would be simple, but I think they're actually going to take longer than you think because of the
think
tactical
that
nature.
How you defined it as card counting double D, couldn't your DM do the same thing?
Well, sure.
I know exactly which hero I'm going after first. He's going to fall in 2 rounds.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point. Good point. Mind's Eye. Hi, Mind's Eye. I like that avatar. Cool. Super chat for $5. If there were a countering party or dodge roll, that'd be one thing. But how can you have ranged or magic gameplay without the chance to miss? Absolutely. And you know what? In this combat I looked at, this guy's whipping daggers from distance, and he hits. Now, they will tell you, Mind's Eye, that, oh, well, this is just all about being a hero and being heroic. Again, I don't think we have the same definition. Maybe as a hero, things are skewed to you, I don't know, 51-49, look, maybe even 60-40, whatever. But good Lord, I mean, it seemed kind of ridiculous. And in the, going further in the MCDM, like, oh yeah, these villains are just beating you down. And then all of a sudden, oh, well, I just take I forget the mechanic they call it, but I take a rest in the middle of the battle, a recovery. Boom, 20 hit points back. Well, I was looking at a guy who had 40 hit points. Just all he had to do was say, oh, I'm just going to take one of those. Well, all the work the DM did to throw that damage on him is gone.
How do you take a nap in the middle of the
Can the bad guys take a nap in the middle of a fight?
I don't know, but that's
they just healed up too.
Yeah, that's another thing too. It's like if you're a DM, God help you if you're a DM in this MCDM role-playing game. If you're the DM, you're gonna have so much shit to track. I remember this from 4th edition, and it's kind of like 5th edition. It was good at lower levels, when you didn't have quite so much. I didn't mind the tactical nature. I don't think the group, for the most part, did. But this MCDM is like heavy tactical, like heavy, like count these squares. You no fudging. It looks close enough, like we sometimes do. Even though we do play rules as written. So we do the traditional since 3rd edition, using squares to move if we're in to combat, but we're not, I wouldn't say we're kind of beholden to it, but
we've done this long enough, so we're pretty solid on it.
Yeah. And as I get older, I'm a little like, that's okay. We can.
Chris is chatting.
Damn it, my cordless headphones I have to catch the rest of the stream. No problem, Chris. Thank you for being so generous tonight. Remember, everybody, support Mad Scribe. You guys see Chris Miller here every week. Check out Mad Scribe magazine.
Get it delivered to your door.
Yeah.
Was it weekly, monthly? What is it?
It's right now it's quarterly.
Quarterly?
Yeah. Because he's, I don't want to say a one-man band, but he's doing most of it by himself, putting it together. He's getting, of course, submissions. But God, even just getting it 3 or 4 times a year, really cool. Use the link in the description. That way, like I said, I get a little, I get to wet my beak a little bit. Dragon Shadow. It's 4th edition D&D, but somehow worse. Yeah, I'm gonna go over all this in the video I'm working on. But hey, to them, to their point, look, Matt's fans are run the gamut. There's some normal ones for sure, but there is quite a number of fat retards in his fandom. In fact, I'm going to show you. This guy is not fat, but I want to show you. 1 second here.
Tora just used the link. Boom.
Oh, nice. All right. Here, let's
a new wave of tabletop.
You are looking at your great-great-grandfather.
Get off of there, LeVar. What are you trying to do? All right, so this was sent to me by
shadow hack.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. This was sent to me by Cal. So Cal, if you're out there,
still no Cal, still no Mary Boss.
No
I'm
Cal,
not saying nothing. I don't know.
All right, so this you got to watch. You got to watch this guy. This is your typical Matt Colville fan.
Now, the second game on this list is going to be incredibly obvious. It's probably on every single person's 2024 list, even though the game actually comes out in 2025. If you haven't picked up on what I'm talking about, it's the RPG designed by my idol, the man, the myth, the RPG Jesus, Matt Colville, and the MCDM RPG. There's a ton of reasons why I'm super interested in this game. Let's just get the shallow one out of the way. I idolize Matt Colville. I want to run a game just like him. Let's be real. If he sold his used toilet paper, I would probably buy it.
I don't even know what to say. I don't have any articulate words to say. I can't. The syllables won't come out.
Well, you guys are surprised. Ever since I made that Matt Colville video, people like him have been just invading my comments.
Really?
Oh God, yeah. That's right. Don't you forget it, you fucking simp, tabletop bro.
Holy cow.
You gotta get bro out of there.
I think honestly, I think tomorrow I need to go see my doctor and get a testosterone shot just because of him. Who is this bro dude?
Tabletop bro. 8 subscribers. You don't gotta worry about him.
No, he's got a few more.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll play.
My math's a little off. I don't know.
I just idolize him.
That's what drift speed. That's what I say about Double D.
But that's okay.
All right, I'm gonna be like that 90-day fiance girl, and I'll start boxing up my used toilet paper, like she did with her farts.
All right. I remember that episode. Then we watched it. Yep.
All right, so let's watch this guy a little bit more. I'm also a huge slut for 2d6 based systems, as anyone who watches my videos would know, and I fully support getting rid of misses and making your turn actually matter. I think this is actually one of my favorite things about the MCDM RPG that's going on right now. The discourse in the space is just so entertaining, and the amount of people that take issue with getting rid of, to hit rolls. I think waiting like 20 minutes for your turn, just being bored out of your mind, and then just rolling the d20 and missing, and that's your turn, that sucks. So I really like the ideas that he has in play here of you always hit, it's just a matter of how much damage you do. There's always like another effect that happens on your turn, so it's very tactical and your choices actually matter every. Yeah, it's what you want from your role-playing game, a game of chess. Yeah. But this is actually very accurate. He is very accurate here. Gave a little tell single time. I like the way that he's structuring the initiative system where you roll and then either the party goes or the monsters go, and then one party member goes, you guys get to choose. I will say that just so you guys think I'm not bashing. I did kind of like the way they did the initiative in the sample.
So
I saw,
when you roll everyone rolls, and then the high
well,
roll goes?
you roll. So we roll off. It might even be a die 6. Whoever's higher, they go first. But what happens is they just choose somebody on their side to go first, and then immediately after they go, somebody in the enemies go, and then you alternate until you get to a side that maybe has more that have to go kind of back end it. So actually, I didn't quite mind that. I was kind of thinking about that. I thought maybe that was workable. So I will say that it's not complete garbage. It's just mostly garbage. But yeah, this guy's such a simp. Monster goes, another party member, etc., etc. I think it's a really good way of addressing people just zoning out, maybe buying health insurance in the middle of a session. Not that I've ever done that before. Well, that's you. I mean, that's you, dude. I mean, you either you're in a bad game or you're a bad player, right? I mean, if this is his perspective on it, this tells me right here that. Yeah, there is an army of people, obviously, we've seen this, that have gotten themselves involved in RPG games, Dungeons and Dragons, that aren't there for the gaming. They're there for some bizarre social fuckery. Social fuckery. Yeah, it's just, this guy right here is, it's a joke. Yeah, combat can last a while.
Practice.
That's
not
right.
Not a game. We talk about practice.
Yeah, but
I agree, Rogan. I do feel like it's like they're doing their own personal bingo card. Yep, I played a role-playing game.
Well, yeah, and it's
thank you.
I helped the homeless today.
It is kind of like they have. It's catering to like the short attention spans, right?
It is.
It's like, I need to be, instead of just enjoying the fellowship of your players. You
Got a whole
can't.
bunch coming in.
Oh, good Lord. All righty.
We'll start at the top.
Let's do it. Owl of Omens.
I
like that name. Yeah, I do too. Yeah, $5. That's
Dude, that rocks.
kick-ass names. The removal of chance and fate limits the sweetness of success. Absolutely. And responsibility, recovering from loss. Well, if it's all about just kind of shirking, responsibility, I mean, I can see where that would be appealing to someone like these people.
I want to tattoo that quote on my arm.
Yeah. Thank you, Owl of Omens. Great
We got
name.
one more here.
Patrick Demo. He's slowly becoming the MVP of the night. $5 super chat. The very sight of this RPG Pro causes barren wombs. I cringe so damn hard. I think I just threw out my back. Mrs. D always has whenever she sees a particular kind of soy guy, she'll be like, she's like that's a vampire that'll just drain like any kind of sexual thoughts like away from a woman. She'll be like, that's one. That's
I
one of
forget.
them.
Someone had posted in here. I'm trying to read these as fast as they go. About this guy right here is a single mom, raised by a single mom, and I partially agree. Single mom and his aunt, because he got a double dose of adult estrogen as he's growing up. Honestly, he never had a solid guy friend ever.
Someone mentioned what's he buying health insurance for? Well, we had someone at our table take a,
Facebook.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm Michael Scott.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That was we took care of that pretty quick though. That was kind of when cell phones were first. I don't want to say first, released smartphones, but it was kind of like when everybody started to have them. And I was looking around and I'm like, why is this person at our table doing this? I still don't like how we occasionally we'll have the need to look stuff up at the table.
Right.
I understand that, but people then just start doing their own research. The cell phones, I mean, it's best put away. Unless you have someone in the hospital you're waiting for a call from. Put them away for the game table, for school, all that stuff. No good.
Look over. Hey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm looking up the weight of a missile.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, do we need to do that right now?
Yeah. Shut up and roll. Come on, dude. Put it down.
We're waiting for you. That's why this guy came up with automatic hits.
That's right. Yeah. Way to bring us back. My man knows how to do that. So I don't know. Obviously, I'm against it. I don't want to play any more of that Tabletop Bros video, but yeah, he goes on to bag on boomers, which I'm sure he would call all of us. That's fine.
Which is so weird because we're 10 years off of that, aren't we?
Yeah. Pretty close to, but it doesn't matter. Look, you're dealing with a profoundly dumb generation.
I had to give a birthday. The other day I was shopping for somebody and they bought that Cheese Whiz in a can.
Mm-hmm.
But because it was an aerosol thing, I did supply my birth date.
Oh, really?
And yeah. And so I big leagued the lady. I always subtract some years from my age. And I told her I was 20 years younger than I actually was. And she's like, "Oh, you look so good for your age." And I'm like, "Oh,
all right.
Hey, how you doing, baby?"
Hello.
And I lied by 20 as well. Okay.
All right. I'm just getting ready to queue up the main event, which is the Conan book reviewer. But I don't know if we still, if the chat still has any. I see some Gen X's there. In summary, I guess, I don't like where this. I'm not averse to new mechanics because I do understand. Look, these games they're sort of unchanging. What's wrong with doing something different? That's fine, but I also don't want mayonnaise on my salad. So some ideas are just bad. And this seems to me to be just a bad idea for, what the one super chatter said. It makes the success just seem so, there's nothing to it. It's so hollow.
It is.
Yeah. And then like Rogan said earlier, I mean, the stuff we've had happen off of failure at the table in combat, campaign altering stuff You know,
100%.
Altered the world, right?
Yes. Yes. I mean, years later, we're living, in game, we're living the repercussions of a missed attack.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. That is accurate. And
I'm okay being called by a boomer by a guy that just said he'd buy another guy's toilet paper.
That's right. Insert name here. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, know someone by their enemies, and I think we're all doing well. Good Lord.
That person's, he had a video, he put it up, but what he said about the toilet paper, he invalidated anything he had to say or he will ever have to say to anyone that has any sense in their frickin' brain.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. Yeah, I call myself Gen X because I'm too bloody old to be a millennial. Yep, I hear you, Tora. Good to see you here, buddy.
I'm an X and I'm proud.
Just like I said, I'm kind of working on a video. I don't want to take all the steam out of it. But yeah, let's just say it makes, in my opinion, it made for a very boring and dry combat. There's no drama, and it's also mostly just because like the DM is more worried about like just tactical stuff. It's real tactical heavy. And I suppose not every DM has to be like that, but when you're playing a real tactical heavy game, and look, they put like MCDM, this is a tactical heroic role-playing game. You're not going to get, some descriptions or, the DM saying like, cool, all right, well, tell me, tell me what happens here. I'll give you a bonus to your attack, just kind of wheel and deal. I don't know. I don't like it. I think it's a sign of the times. I think it's a sign of weakness. And you can call me a boomer all you want. But as Chris said earlier, you're just getting a fucking participation trophy. And that's really all it is. And we're doing it because you people can't get off your fucking cell phones long enough. And you have destroyed your attention spans.
Yeah. TikTok brain.
Yeah, absolutely, Rogan. You have destroyed your attention span. I mean, read a book. I'm like 1,000 times. I'm at the table there, and we're in the heat of something. Something's building. Something's growing. The arrows are flying. The attacks are going, and I'm able to get my character in the right spot. And my excitement, I'm begging for a 20. I'm begging for a 20, and I'm just like, I got to hit. It's just that at my age right now, I still get excited. Mm-hmm.
When I want that fail when I'm in the right spot, when a powerhouse is coming in, when the fighter is coming in the right spot for his attack, that means he's often in the right spot to be attacked.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree. I mean, you get a little boost, a little goose of energy. You roll that critical. Critical in this is just, I do slightly more damage. That's it. Or,
I get to bust out my foldable hammock and take a nap and gain 20 points.
That's right, yeah. $2 super chat. JJM Director.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on opposing role systems? I'm not very familiar. I know what they are, but I have not played in them. In theory, JJM, thank you, by the way. I don't have a problem with it because there is some fate and there is chance, right? You're just using another die roll to help adjudicate random chance. It's just another way to do that. It's a little different, I think, than this, where this is just a numbers game. This is an averaging game. You will get players if they are. Let me tell you this: if they're drawn to a tactical RPG, I already know the kind of players they are. They're part war gamers, which is fine because I am a little bit too. But I tend not to do this. But they will figure out the numbers, and they will just treat it like a game of chess, like in that dude's video. It's now look obviously, like they'll say like, well, you don't have to get the game. Yeah, that's true. But you're already seeing systems a little bit like this. Daggerheart for Critical Role. It's not completely a always hit, but they do have a mechanic that kind of favors it towards the players. What's the most confusing day for a soy boy? Why it's Father's Day, silly. It's Joe. Nicely done, Joe. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I remember at Gen Con many years ago, one of those placards up there. I don't recall what game it was, but some new system. It was diceless.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. That might have been Amber or something. Yeah. Now some of those games are, I don't know. Look, that's the bargain you're making, with that kind of stuff, I suppose. It seems like it's more improv, but when you're playing it, what's supposed to be a D&D competitor, I don't know. I don't think they probably wouldn't say that. They'll be like, "Oh, this isn't for dungeon crawling." That's another thing too. Like, "Oh, it's not for dungeon crawling, really. It's just." So what do? You just go from fight to fucking fight. Oh, we're at the bar. All right, let's go fight someone. And let's do a 2-hour combat.
Welcome to Murder World.
Murder World. Welcome to Murder World. All right. Let's go to. All right, gotta mute that. All right, so thank you everyone for letting us know your thoughts on that. Now, kind of the main event. All right, so this guy.
That first part was a bloomin' onion. Here's the steak.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's your bloomin' onion. Not any normal appetizer. That's a heavy duty appetizer. Yeah. All right. So this is Matt's fantasy book reviews, and I gotta admit, like I said, I love Robert E. Howard. I went apeshit watching this.
That's Coco the monkey.
Yeah. Oh man, this you will have a new person you don't like. Let me just be kind. I gotta be careful here. This is YouTube. You will have a favorite new person you don't like if you are a Robert E. Howard fan. So let's start, shall we?
Want to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons. Thank you so much for all of the continued support. And I am done, thank God. So,
what are we thinking already here?
If you're thanking everyone, and then when you're done thanking them, you go, "Oh, thank God." It's over with. Thank God.
He's already got the soy mouth. Yeah. The I'm not an aggressor. Let me open my mouth. DM James. Dun 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 dun. I hate meeting fathers. That's why I only date black women. You can always count on DM James to bring the spice. Thank you, $10. I'm just gonna let that one go, James. I think you understand that. Very funny. All right. So here's our guy. Matt is his name. Let's go.
I just got done reading The Coming of Conan the Cimmerian. This is the...
I have this series. It's a 3-part series. I have it not only in paperback. I have bought the Kindle version too, so I could do it on my Scribe. I like it. I liked it that much. I bought it twice.
The first short story collection, the first 13 short stories in Conan the Barbarian by Robert E. Howard. And I want to give you my unedited thoughts on finishing this book, which was just right now. So, God.
Did you see that eye batting?
I did.
that was really effeminate, I must say, Matt. You know what he reminds me of? Do you remember the old skit on Saturday Night Live? Dana Carvey played a guy, Lyle, the effeminate heterosexual.
Oh, yes.
I don't.
Yeah.
Actually,
we're talking like late 80s. It's on like YouTube. He talked like, oh my God, he talked like this, but he was married and
all his buddies thought for sure he was gay.
Yeah, everybody, it was
he's got a hot wife.
Yeah, those were the days they kind of did those kind of sketches. I'm getting that same vibe off of Matt. So we'll see.
I hated this book. This is so bad. I am in shock at how horrific, truly horrific this book was.
All right, so he's calling Robert E. Howard's first Conan collection horrific. All right, so is this just some dumb millennial being hyperbolic? Probably.
He'll never amount to anything. I'm telling you right now.
yeah. But I mean, the thing is, it's not just a bunch of like, dark Morlocks, who like, I mean, everybody knows what Robert E. Howard's about. Like even Stephen King likes Robert E. Howard, said he can write action like nobody else ever has, ever will. That's Stephen King. We'll go on. I'm starting to wonder if he actually wrote or read as much as he says he read, because he gets some things wrong.
I can't believe that he would. If he really says that,
or he's read so many that he's getting them all jumbled together.
Yep, always a lisp. Oh my God!
A person like that doesn't commit to anything other than disparaging other people.
Yep. A truly great writer, Robert E. Howard.
It's just, I'm so glad I'm done. And I got to be straight up with you. I did not finish this book. I just got done with, I think like the 8th or 9th short story out of 13. And I can't keep going. I can't keep going, everybody. I tried. I did my best. I feel really bad. Tim SP, I'm sorry, my man. Tim SP won the TBR contest twice. And when you win twice, you get to pick a book for me to read and review. And I said that I'd finish any book on that list. Anytime I have to read a book, I'll do it. But I can't do it. I
can't do it.
Does this guy play role-playing games?
I don't know much about him. Chat, if any of you know, let us know.
I mean, he's got quite the library there. I'm looking. I don't see anything game-related.
Well, his thing is fantasy book reviews. I mean, you might assume in these days that he probably does game a little, but
he doesn't read any Gene Cook. He doesn't read it. He hasn't read any Moorcock at all.
Oh yeah. What would he? Yeah. Yep.
If he hated Howard, then the dude hates himself.
Yeah.
I already got what I got out of this thing. I know what I'm getting, because all these stories are really, really similar, and there's no way that they're going to get any better. So, sorry, Tim.
I know that. I know that for a fact, even though I didn't read all of them. Well, they are not all alike. They all feature the same character. But
Tim, I did my best. So my initial impressions here, when I think of Conan the Barbarian, I grew up, I was born in the 80s, and, Conan the Barbarian, the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, came out before I was born by a little bit. But I definitely saw it when I was younger, or at least parts of it. And I remember thinking, like, this is the corniest piece of junk that I've seen.
What?
And no.
That's crazy.
So not only is he bagging on the literary source, now he's saying Conan the movie. That's why I said I was, I don't want to say I was apoplectic. I don't get that worried about folks like this, but I was, in my mind, I was just going ape shit. I'm like, oh my God, is this I don't think it's a troll. I don't think he's doing this like, oh, I'm going to trigger people. I do believe he thinks this, so I'll at least give him that.
I mean, he's entitled to his opinion without a doubt.
Yeah.
But
yep.
Doesn't the general consensus just say otherwise?
Yes. Yeah, he is a firm outlier.
X amount of million people be wrong.
Yeah. Like I said, you have, one of the best living authors, Stephen King, sacking up for him and giving Robert E. Howard his due. DM James again, just imagine his opinions on H.P. Lovecraft. Yeah, there's one part where he gets to, and I'll stop it there and address that, James. But yeah, absolutely. Thank you again, $2 super chat.
Knowing that it came from source material, I have been wondering for a long time, like, are the movies just janky? Are they totally, abdicating the source material, and what's happening there? But no, the movie's pretty much spot on. I mean, I'd have to watch the movie again. Maybe it just totally takes a different plot and runs with it. But the feel of the movie and this corniness and basic bones plot is what we got here in these books. So I would say the movies did it very faithfully done. They shouldn't have. They should have done it in a totally different direction.
Well, they're short stories. You have to understand that, Matt. Okay, so the plot you can't have, a Wheel of Time style plot in a short story. Okay, these were for magazines, and he will say that later. He at least admits that. But this whole thing, the plot is not, overly complicated. That's not a bug. That's a feature.
I can smell his testosterone deficiency through your screen.
Yeah. God, eat a steak, Matt. Come on.
Yes. Eat a steak.
Eat a steak.
But yeah, so ultimately, though, I'm not going to look at this book with the hatred that I have for some other books that I've read that are horrific, because this book came out. I mean, the omnibus got put together, I think, in like the early 2000s, the one I'm reading right now. But it's combining a bunch of stories that were written a very long time ago. So the first story in this collection came out in 1932. Came out in this little pulp magazine. And the last one in this collection came out in 1967. But most of these were written in the 1930s. There were some in the 1940s, some big jumps there.
All right, so let me disavow you of that, Matt. Robert E. Howard committed suicide in 1936, so nothing was written by Robert E. Howard after 1936. Now, there were some pastiches, as everybody knows, from L. Sprague de Camp and some others. Those are not true Conan stories. Any person who knows anything about the character and the history knows that those are just essentially like fan novels, essentially. So he's already kind of doesn't. If you're gonna blast somebody, at least, I mean, Robert E. Howard doesn't have a huge bio. He never left Texas. He was a bit of a mama's boy. I think that's clear. But man, was he a writer? Holy shit! And he only lived to 30 years old. So let's see. JP goes, no, the Conan movie really doesn't reflect the short stories. True, Thulsa Doom was a call character and lived 1,000 years before Conan. I would say the movies captured a spirit of the books. They always say, well, Arnold is completely unlike the Conan of literary Conan. I don't see it like that. Especially if you factor in the second movie, which we tried to do a live stream on about a month ago.
Shut down.
Yeah, shut down. I think he does about as well. Did about as well as he could for that era. I don't know. You can love both, right? I remember. I think I talked to Gary Gygax, in that. It might have been in that thread or something. I asked him about his opinions, and he didn't think much about the Conan movies either. Because he considered himself a Howard expert. But I kind of break there, and I say you can love both. And yeah, there is the DNA is still there in the movies. It's not complete, but I mean, look, it's a 2-hour movie, and he picked a time. That really wasn't covered in Conan, the Conan stories of Robert E. Howard.
I mean, Howard's stories are fantastic. We already touched base on that. He can write such descriptions and action in a few short sentences.
Yep.
The movie itself was just amazingly put together.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Yeah,
very very well written.
And even if those things didn't happen according to Robert E. Howard, that's fine. You could imagine in your mind that something like that maybe could have.
Oh, absolutely.
Happened, and I understand it didn't, but
that, like you said, it has the DNA in there.
Yeah. I love them both. There's the DNA, but yeah, you're right. They are different in that way. So let's continue with Matt Fantastic here.
But just for reference on how old this is, The Lord of the Rings, which is a series I think that most people kind of consider as the dawn of modern fantasy, came out in 1954, 22 years after this story first came out in a pulp magazine. So I do have to give some major, what am I looking for here? Like kid gloves here on this book. Because I get how old this was, that there's no way.
He says this, but watch what he says after. I mean, he's like, I'll treat it with kid gloves, but.
That it's just still going to be good. And, I have some kind of wild takes on Lord of the Rings. I don't love it as much as most of you love it. I like it. I don't love it.
I like it. I don't love it.
If this guy,
I like it a lot.
I like it. I don't love it.
If this guy played any RPGs, he'd be playing the Blue Rose.
Yeah. This guy has Blue Rose somewhere on that shelf. Rogan's favorite RPG of all time.
Fatal's my favorite.
Oh,
Actually.
Fatal, yeah. I'm saving that. We're gonna go through Fatal one of these days on stream. Yeah, that's gonna be. We'll do that when we pass 200 live.
A close second.
And my criticism with it are the criticisms I have with this to 1% of the feeling, because this series and these stories are so bad. I mean, they're truly atrocious.
I don't hate the guy. His stories are horrific and atrocious. Well, I'm going to treat him with kid gloves.
But I get it. I'm glad that I read this, I think, because, I feel like it's important, at least for me, maybe not for you. Don't read this. You don't need this, but.
Oh, fuck you. First of all, fuck you, you piece of shit.
Right.
You piece of human garbage.
As a fantasy reviewer, it's nice to figure out where the genre kind of started.
How can you call yourself a fantasy now, if you want to call yourself a book reviewer, that's fine. If you specialize in fantasy books, you mincing little creep, and you think like this. Oh, and you're also being a real edgelord by, I don't even really like Lord of the Rings that much. Oh, fuck off. Jeez.
What fantasy is he reading?
Exactly.
Well, Jack Elmy just said that. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. Hey, great minds think alike.
Out. And clearly this genre started out a long time before this with things like Beowulf and Campfire.
I think if we go down here, there it is. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, thank you. Mind's Eye. Gives a man. Hold on one second. I'm gonna set you up for it. I'm gonna set you up for success, Mouse. Gives a man's a joker.
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
That's right. Thank you, Mind's Eye, $2. Imagine his reaction to the Hyborian Age essay. Yes, exactly. Yep. He will never read that. He couldn't even make it through some of the best, most visceral Conan stories. That first collection, all those stories are real, like, pulse pounding, visceral, like action, balls to the wall, high testosterone. I think we can see why he doesn't like them.
If Howard bothers him so much, then this guy really needs to read the Gore series.
Yeah.
If he thinks Conan is bad.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, reads. I wonder if he ever has done like Moorcock or something like that.
I don't think so.
He's done Moorcock
already. Stories before that. But in the written format, coming out in publications, this is among the earlier fantasy stories that I've gotten out there, certainly that have any sort of, following. And I also get that these stories were not written as like a book. They were written as little short stories submitted to a magazine for a very niche audience. But I really do feel like the only reason that anyone should ever read these stories is for historical perspective. The flaws are so deep here that I struggle to see what anybody could possibly enjoy out of these in 2024 besides this. So
I keep thinking of Ironcaster suffering succotash.
Oh my gosh.
Someone commented that you're hitting pause at the right time with his face.
Yeah.
That's a little wild.
Yeah. It's easy to do with this guy. I think every other second he's in a soy pose.
Is his middle name Slap Me?
Matt Slap Me.
Let's dig into some of the problems that I had here. Let's start with the world building, or lack thereof, because the world is Europe and Northern Africa, like squished together with no sea in between them. And I've read that that's actually how he made this map, is he just put them together. He put these kind of geometric shapes.
Well, if you'd bothered to look at the back of that book, because I own that book, I'm pretty sure it's in the first one. There is the map there, you dunce. You see, like, I think a scan, a copy of like Howard's actual map. I think this is it.
Put these different countries here, and that's what he got. But instead of using that as the basis for his map, which, to be fair, George R. R. Martin kind of did with his map of Westeros, which
what's the problem?
Looks a lot like the United Kingdom. Some differences, but you got your icy north up top. You've got a kind of similar shape. But what George R. R. Martin did was he said, let's make this map and then we'll make new cultures inside of it. But what...
Yeah, real new. As if the people of the North aren't Scandinavians. As if the people, down by King's Landing aren't, bog standard Europeans. Like the Dorn aren't Iberians.
Right.
North African. You dope.
What Robert E. Howard did was he made this map and he kept the same countries basically with different names on them with just wildly racist caricatures of real areas. I mean, you've got your hook-nosed Shemites or whatever he calls them, which,
big deal.
We know what that is here. It's super racist and uncomfortable to read. What? You've got your northern white armies of the good people. You've got your...
They're never called good. That does not... If he knew anything about Howard, he would understand that at its core, the book, the series, if, one of the tenets is civilization versus barbarism, right?
Absolutely.
And barbarism is never shown as being good. It's just shown as defeating civilization, in the long run. It's the natural state of man. $5 super chat from our friend Jeff from Denkar. This guy's the kind that gets excited when his wife's bull shows up with ice cream and Pokemon cards.
That is funny.
That'll keep him extra quiet. Yeah, that'll keep him extra quiet.
Go in the corner and play.
You guys are on fire. Yep. And I don't care because this guy he would hate all of us. We hate him. I'm tired of trying to be polite. I kind of felt the last vestige of that was gone. When I had the revelation sort of about Indestructo Boy, because at first I was like, kind of be nice. And then I started seeing Soyclops in the chat, and I started laughing my ass off. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck these people. They would want to see me dead. They would want to see
burned at the stake.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. And they wouldn't bat their eyelashes. So fuck him. The only way to deal with people like this, honestly, is to do what we're doing.
And his shirt size is too small. 2 sizes too small. From Dave Portnoy's Pizza Review.
Like you asked a little bit ago, what fantasy stuff is he reading? If he's, this is his angle.
Yeah, it's what I don't understand. That's why I almost want to kind of go down the rabbit hole. I mean, this could be fertile ground here. I mean, we could be looking at
Howard, I just went and checked as well. Like, how does he have 17,000?
Yeah, a good question, Howard. Yeah, I saw that earlier. Bots, yeah. Yeah, I think he gets decent views too. Sometimes people have high subscribers, but just they're either neglecting their channel or they were just around for a certain event that got them that, and they really haven't built up the channel. I think he gets decent views, so he must have an audience. I don't know.
Well, there are people that are crossing over from his OnlyFans.
Yes. It's his wife's OnlyFans, you mean? Okay, today Jerome is here, so I am going to go off camera.
Eat your ice cream with a fork.
Evil, non-white Southern foes that are that can only win with sorcery and sorcerers and magicians. And
Conan becomes king of Aquilonia, which is a stand-in for France, essentially. Gaul. I mean, I guess if you want to call that the North, but that's just kind of regular Europeans. The only ones that are, I would say, bad, as a country, I don't even know as a race, are the Stygians, because it's a land of dark sorcery. In one of the stories, I just read in I think the third collection, or maybe it was the second, I can't remember. They go down there, and All right. Let's.
I can't help it.
I know.
I saw it come right by.
You can. Yeah. Let's not put it up there. Yeah. Let's stop. Yeah.
Double D heard me kind of starting to laugh, and he's like, "Uh-oh."
Oh, it's funny as hell. I just don't want to give him ammo. So you can. Let's say this. You can say it out loud. Let's not give anybody a screenshot.
The racism here is so in your face, and it's so uncomfortable. Now, again, I get it. It was the 1930s. Things were super racist. And I'm not saying this to say Robert E. Howard is this really bad guy. I don't know anything about Robert E. Howard.
Well, you're savaging him. Maybe you should have learned a little bit about him.
Maybe he was. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was just, this is a guy of the times writing for what people liked to read back then. I truly have no
Or 90
idea.
years later.
yeah.
But what I can say is this is a really tough pill to swallow in 2024.
Something tells me you swallowed a lot of pills. Yeah.
I was about to say the same thing. I bet this guy gets
it's-
outraged if he goes on a bus and there's a person of color that's a driver.
Yeah.
You can't, how dare, why are you driving? You shouldn't be driving.
Yeah, this is somebody who will explain to a black person why exactly they should be mad about something. The black person's probably like, get the fuck out of my face, dude.
Like in that video of the barbers, may I touch you? Have you seen that one yet? It's like I
haven't.
It's like someone goes to a woke barber shop.
I saw that.
And the woman's like, "Can I touch you?"
Oh yes, I did see that. Yeah. And then
Another
wasn't
guy
it like
be
a brothers
"Can I
there,
tou-
just like, dude, what?
Can I touch you?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up and cut my hair.
Just cut my fucking hair. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Just gets up and swears at him and walks away.
What are your pronouns?
What?
She, they, or whatever. Me too. I'm glad we got that out of the way. What are your pronouns? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
I don't do that shit.
Cut my hair.
Just cut
That
my
was
hair.
hilarious.
How are you gonna cut my hair without touching me? Just cut my hair.
Yeah, Stygia is bad because because they practice all kinds of strange sorcery down there. They worship a bad god. So that's why. There's never the conceit that, they are bad, solely because of the color of their skin. He was just being accurate, like, these people would make good stand-ins for Egyptians,
Uncomfortable. And it's constant. I mean, you just, the bad guys are all black.
Untrue.
In what? In Conan?
That's what he's saying in all these stories.
Thulsa Doom was brother,
Well,
but like
he's talking about the books now, remember?
Yeah,
but
the guy with the big hammer was a white guy.
In the movie, yeah.
You gotta fix your screen, Double D. Oh, that's Rogan. Okay.
Oh yeah, if you can.
My apologies.
That's all right. You've fallen down. That's fine. Yeah, just pick one. Well, let me. Well, I'll grab this. I'll grab this chat.
Thank you,
Crazy Mouse. Good eyes as always. Patrick Demo. I think this is his strategy. I mean, he's going to super chat enough to where it's ingrained in our memories. Patrick Demo.
I like him already.
Yes.
Hold on, wait a minute. Oh no, that's I hate him already. Never mind.
That's all right. Yeah, you could have played that for the guy we're watching, but yeah. Who had it's the current year on your Soyboy YouTuber bingo cards? Yeah, exactly. It's the current year.
I think we're going to get a bingo before the end of February.
But the thing is, I think it still even stands up over the test of time. I mean, he uses, I think, the term Negro, obviously liberally, but remember that was the preferred term back then.
Right.
So if you have a problem with that, you're a fucking moron. You're ridiculous.
I remember when Muhammad Ali set an interviewer straight with the word Negro.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, we call, China people Chinese, and we call Japan people Japanese, and they're we don't call them Negroes, we call them black now. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I just remember that interview.
Yep.
The good guys are all white. And there's these really racist things above and beyond that just are cringe-inducing, to say the least. And, if it was just the racism thing, I'd have a problem with it. But it's the sexism thing, too, which obviously we got this racist component. Clearly, we're going to have this sexist component, too. It's the 1930s. Things were really sexist. But it doesn't make them fun to read anymore. The general sexism and creepiness of this main character, Conan, is so off-putting and makes me end up hating his character.
He's calling Conan creepy. Guy who literally risks his lives for totally a strange woman who's, obviously damsel in distress. It's obviously you find a lot of that, but good Lord.
He proves to me that he actually hasn't read any fantasy whatsoever. Oh, by the way, Matt, next time you do your YouTube thing, take the retainer out of your mouth.
Yes, exactly. I made a few notes because, like I said, this series I read it about, I think, coming up on 20 years before this, and then I have reread most of these within the last half year. People of the Black Circle, Afghanis, East Indians, called Vendians by Robert E. Howard. They're all portrayed with some depth, a lot of truth about them. Even going so far as how the various tribes don't get along. Now, this MFer would probably say like, "Oh, that's so racist." That is a fact. I mean, that is going on like today. But Robert E. Howard, wrote that into his story. Conan quarrels with the hillmen that he's leaving. But he ends up going back to him at the end once the sorcerers are defeated, because he feels an obligation to them. Right. He feels like, they're my men, they're, even though they kind of disavowed me and were ready to, string me up, I'm still going to go, back to them. Oh, and by the way, who saves the day in People of the Black Circle? The Vendian cavalry.
Yes.
The dark-skinned Indian stand-ins, the Vendians, are the heroes in this. Conan is traveling with, I kind of forget her name now. It's on the tip of my tongue. A princess of Vendia, and she's, she's, of course, one of the main characters in that story. The Devil in Iron, the enemy is Turanian, which I think is kind of a stand-in for Turkey. That was a good story. But like Queen of the Black Coast, everybody knows this story. It's the character that Valeria was based on, I think, more so than the Valeria of the Red Nails. Belit, this leader of like a group of pirates, this larger than life figure, kind of captures Conan's fancy, and he doesn't view her as, one of his conquests. He does sort of, but he really does respect her ability to lead, this group of pirates, who he would have thought, probably would have torn her apart. So that's a 1930s, mid 1930s story where a woman is shown as the leader of a gang of pirates. And Conan ends up, liking her. Shadows of the Moonlight. The villains it's a giant ape and statues that come to life. Hour of the Dragon. The only novella of the... no, it's all right. It's the only true novel. It's a smaller novel, novella. The enemy in that, aside from the sorcerer, is Neckbeardia, which is Germany. Rogues in the House. Thak. An ape is the enemy. Nabonidus, I think, is his name. Who's just a regular white guy. He's the true villain. He's the one pulling the strings behind Thak. Or maybe I think Thak is actually pulling the strings behind him, if I remember that story correctly. But he's just completely wrong about... by the way, if you need to get a drink of water or something, Rogan, please do. poor Rogan is choking to death over here.
He doesn't like Matt's fantasy book reviews.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, this is just a handful. I just kind of picked a few, and I'm like, oh, I definitely remember these enemies. So these are stories where the enemy's not just a black man or anything like that.
All of the women want to have sex with Conan. And multiple times here, he had...
Yeah, imagine that, Matt. Can you imagine that? Are you able to think of a world where women might find someone attractive? And it's not that it's so much like wish fulfillment, but there's nothing wrong with like a young man being like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna be like that dude, you know, when I grow up. You know, obviously in his mind, there's nothing wrong with getting strong and being confident, which is what Conan is.
Attempts to commit sexual violence against the women here?
Does not commit sexual. They are willing participants. You fucking. This is what I hate. He practically rapes them.
But it's not in this like he's doing a wrong thing here. It's portrayed in the sense of like, well, obviously he would want to rape this woman. This is where
it borders into slander, and this is where I started going ape shit. It's consensual. It is always consensual.
He's never, in all the stories I've read, that character has never violated a woman that, you know, against her will. It's never been a violation.
When there are women, you know, and I do concede that, you know, often, you know, there is, you know, to varying degrees, you know, kind of like the damsel in distress. He's weird because it's never shown like, oh, you know, Howard will write like Conan pressed her to him, you know, and he kissed her, you know, lustily or whatever, something like that. I mean, it's never lewd in the least. I remember he slaps one on her rear end. I suppose that would be a sex crime to this guy. But yes, all of the interactions with the women are consensual. Fuck off.
Just asking for it, you know? She's sitting there looking all attractive and trying to run away from him. What else would he do?
No, he's trying to save her. He's a hero. He's trying to save her.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, did he even read these fucking stories? I just listed some. You know, women generally aren't trying to run away from him. I'm trying to think offhand, you know, I don't know, maybe at first, you know, one did or something. But for the most part, he's saving him. Fuck. And then Howard's just writing a fucking, you know, grape farmer.
It's so bad. I mean, the first story alone, he like chases this ice lady for no particular reason.
That's the second story in that book, I think. I think the Phoenix on the Sword is the first one.
Reason that he doesn't rape her is because she's like saved at the last second by somebody else that he ends up killing.
So he's projecting that into it.
Yes.
Oh, that's, you know, I know he wanted to. Oh my God. This guy. I know he wanted to. That's what he was going to do.
I normally don't have as much of a problem with this in modern day books because almost every other time, at least in the stories that I've read, it serves some narrative purpose. You know, whether it's to make me loathe a particular character, have some redemption arc that this woman's going to go through, or something else entirely. It exists and there's a purpose for it. But here, it just feels like it exists just for the sake of existing.
Wrong. Jeff Hatch, $5. It's not rape. I'm surprised they let you type that, Jeff. I thought sometimes YouTube's super chats, they can be a little sensory. The women throw it at him, you know, out of awe or gratitude for saving them. Yeah. Plus, he's like a glistening, muscle-bound Adonis. Something he can't know since he has no balls. Exactly, Jeff. Good to see you again, buddy. Thank you. $5. Well, people think that, like Jason Momoa. Like Jason Momoa is the modern day Conan. Pretty popular with the ladies, right?
Oh yeah. 6 foot whatever, long hair.
Yep. Automatic. Good job catching that one, Crazy Mouse. $9.99 super chat. Give him a little joker if you would.
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
That's right.
I got one for him too.
Well, we're talking about sexy things. Automatic. Wanted to ask if you could, when you get a chance, to please go over to Scott Garabay's 2-part video from 2 days ago about games to stop playing in 2024. Garabay is driving down the highway at night.
Oh my gosh,
that's scary. And
oh boy! All right, remind me, guys. Maybe we can look at that one next week. Not going to be able to fit it in tonight. Automatic. Can you guys remember that?
I got you.
Garibay Night video. Crazy Mouse has a memory like an elephant. He'll remember. Thank you so much. Did we get them all there, Crazy Mouse?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. Okay. Let us continue. Yep, I got it.
Okay.
Thank you again, Automatic $9.99. Good to see you, and we will definitely check that out.
It's so heavy-handed for
That
no
was
reason.
his first super chat he ever did.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's what that one for. Congratulations.
rock and
You
roll.
busted your cherry here. Yeah, we'll be
And
generous.
it's so cringe-inducing, and it makes me hate Conan and hate the book.
I just hate him. I hate him. I hate him.
The author,
he did like a little, like he was getting all like teary-eyed.
also just like straight up obsesses over Conan's physical appearance and everyone else's physical appearance, really. But we never really understand the characters themselves. I mean, like, physical stereotypes here substitute characterization in literally every single story. And honestly, the largest failure here is Conan himself. I mean, we don't ever end up really knowing anything about Conan's motivations and goals other than above where we began. I get the reasoning here. Like, it's an episodic nature. He's
So he makes a point, and then he completely destroys it by giving the reason that it's not true, because it's episodic, you dipshit.
Look at his face. Screenshot.
I'm telling you, I could do it at any point. People think I've got a skill on this.
This guy has generational trauma going way back.
yeah. Sure. All right.
writing these really short stories. And the magazines they're published in, you know, it just ends up making this weird reading in a collection when Conan starts every story as a blank slate coming from the wild. And, you know, I think like one of the appeals of reading these older pulp stories is that like they tend to be free of that like moralistic good and evil baggage of epic fantasy that you often see. But that's missing here. It's like everything Conan does is presented as unambiguously good, even though he's doing things that clearly are unambiguously bad.
Wrong. I mean,
he just talked to Pretzel right there.
He did. I mean, he's the hero. He is the hero. I mean, this is before we started, you know, deconstructing our heroes. And Conan admits he's a thief. It's never seen as something good. It just is. It's never implied that his thieving is good in any way. It's part of his past. Boy. If you're gonna go into this, he could have just said, "Guys, I didn't like this book. It wasn't for me." You know,
right.
Maybe I've got too many modern sensibilities, but you know the women stuff kind of bothered me. Blah blah blah.
That would have been honest. Everything he said since the very beginning has really not been honest.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been on the show if he'd have just done that. But this whole thing where he's trying to get views because, you know, I'm sure Robert E. Howard, you know, that's going to attract people, and obviously, you know, taking this kind of a stand, it's going to attract other kinds of people.
And he's fighting this unambiguously evil that's always like this dark-skinned enemy.
It's just it's so untrue. It's just it's a lie. I mean, yes, there are stories where the villains are black, but I mean they are like a culture. It's not he's not throwing it in there gratuitously.
It sucks. You know, the plotting is particularly egregiously horrible. Like, each of these little stories seem to be written to make Conan seem awesome. And no other reason than that. Like, the other characters...
Imagine that, making your hero the centerpiece of your story.
Oh, we don't do that anymore.
It'll never work.
Yeah, never. Yeah.
Practically don't exist other than to, you know, show and contrast with how amazing Conan is. Like, look, I get why these stories had an appeal in an era when they were originally written. I get it. But we no longer live in that era, and these stories should be treated for what they are today.
I think they were surprisingly... He must have a fairly loyal fan base, because there weren't too many like, holy shit, dude, you know, what are you smoking? There were some who were like, oh, I kind of like Conan, you know. But I think it seemed to me... Now, granted, I didn't delve deep, you know, but I think they kind of treated him with kid gloves. But maybe word's getting out about this, because this was making the rounds on Twitter. I didn't get a chance to catch T-Shirted's stream last night. I was wondering if maybe he brought it up or they looked at it on there. But yeah.
Like a glimpse into some things of the origins of the fantasy genre, but nothing more.
James Gang, DM James. I bet anything that he is from the left coast, probably San Francisco. James, I would not take you up on that bet. Thank you, $5 super chat. Yeah, I'm going to guess he is in one of the 3 doom states out there on the coast.
The amount of info dumping here would make Lord of the Rings seem light. In the first story alone, and I'm not just picking on this because it's the first story. It's just coming to my mind because it's the first thing and it shocked me so much. But we got 5 pages.
He's from California.
Oh, nice.
Of wall of text explaining all these different people who they.
This is another lie. And this goes back to DM James. He gave an earlier super chat where he said, what would he think of H.P. Lovecraft? Robert E. Howard does not do wall of text. Robert E. Howard is, about, good visceral descriptions, writing action. There's no walls of text. I mean, there may be, in one section of one book, and maybe that's what he's talking about. I don't know if he's talking about Hour of the Dragon, or I'm sorry, Phoenix on the Sword, or the Frost Maiden story. But that's not Robert E. Howard. Now that is H.P. Lovecraft. Who is all about the exposition. And it's one of the reasons I love Lovecraft for what he produced. Obviously we have Call of Cthulhu to thank for him. But his stories are a bit of a slog at times. But I'm not going to I would never badmouth it. This guy pushes a dog in a stroller, walks with his nephew. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Nicely done, Bleecker. So, yeah, I mean, if he had ever, I want to see if he's ever read any H.P. Lovecraft. Because if he has and liked it, then this guy has no consistency whatsoever. Because walls of text is what you get with Howard Phillip. But yeah, you don't get that with Robert E. Howard. For its time, it is so easy to read. That's one of the things I love about it. He knew, okay, I can't do these big, descriptions. Paused hands is showing how big. He likes, ooh, yeah, yep.
We were thinking it, and you said it.
Yep. Gonna say it's
the mouse is cracking up right now.
Yeah, you've done something that doesn't happen very often. Yeah, Crazy Mouse is a very hard laugh. So yeah, if he's cracking up, you guys are doing a good job. You're doing your best.
Bringing the A game.
Yep. They are, where they're from, what they look like, for no reason, because they all just end up dying, and pretty quickly. It's a short little story.
Well, that's one story.
And this is constant. You just get these descriptions and just
because that's how books are written.
Yeah,
they describe something we can't see.
Exactly. He describes things. Oh my God. That must have been a 1930s thing.
Yes.
The most info dumps that anyone is ever going to write.
No, not true.
Is that a potential for the intro? The dashiest dash.
Oh, it could be.
Infoiest.
I thought of that immediately when you said it.
Where's that at? How many minutes is that in?
What is the Gore series? Boss Bully Boy. Good to see you. $2. I'm not sure. Gore? I've heard G-O-R Gore, right?
Yeah, Gore. Yeah.
Were you the one reading that? Or?
Oh, yeah, I read a handful of those a long time ago. They're, they're high fantasy, sword, sorcery, a lot like Conan. It's kind of a John Carter kind of situation. And it's extremely misogynistic. It gets misogynistic.
Yeah.
I mean, it is written for a certain audience.
I saw the movie Outlaw of Gore on Mystery Science Theater. Right. So, yeah, if that was anything like it, yeah, it was.
But
it was something.
It's written for an audience, and I read a whole bunch of the books. I mean,
Tarnsman of Gore, I think, about a
People
guy
are
from
answering
Earth
them
that
in
goes,
the
yeah, counter Earth, yeah. I get the general gist of it, and I know that was a pretty successful. Maybe I'll Disco Barbarian likes it. Gore is awesome, yeah. John Carter BDSM,
Yeah.
is that accurate? Yeah. We'll have to see if he's ever. Well, look, if he's a fantasy book reviewer, he should have touched these because Gore is a pretty well-known series, even though I haven't. Like he should do like the Black Company, right?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Now I'm starting to wonder. Like, did this guy?
I don't think so. I really
what,
don't.
What has he done? I got
Drift
my
Speed just
eye
took
on
off.
you.
Have a good night, Drift Speed.
Have a good
Yep.
one. Good night.
Yep. Good night.
And it's hard to read. I mean, you're reading this being.
It's the easiest thing to read. Like I wouldn't, like Crazy Mouse. You're not a huge reader, right?
Correct.
Yeah. These are books like I would say, if you're like not in the habit of reading, but you want to just cut your teeth on something, just to pass the time, I would really recommend these stories because they're short, and each story is episodic, and they're good, but they're also just like they're easy.
But Matt
reads.
says they're bad.
Yeah, well, there you go.
We got $1 million super
Holy
chat
smoke!
right here.
Let me undo that for you. So you give him whatever you got. There you. Oh yeah. There you go. 30-06 maybe. DM James. Gore is sword and sandals for BDSM fans and sexual deviants. Would you concur?
I concur.
Do you concur?
I agree.
I should have concurred.
I should have
James
concurred.
King, I agree with you 100%.
Thank you, James. Boy, $20. That's too generous, my friend. Thank you. Sexual deviance. Let's see. I'm not a sexual deviant. I'm not into BDSM. Maybe I'll just skim the book. I'll just skim over those.
Well, if you read it, you know this more than anybody else. It's not going to turn you into something that you're not already.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But I probably don't want to read it per se either. But
Bleeker thinks I just went crazy and shot Rogan.
I'm bleeding from the head.
Like, should I be memorizing this? Should I remember? Do I highlight this section so I can go back? And the answer is always no.
Well, how do you read a book? I mean, when you're going through this, is this what you say for every book? Do I need to memorize this? Should I highlight it? The sound of his voice is driving me crazy too.
So you just end up saying, like, I should just ignore all this stuff. But you ignore it, and then what are you left with? You're left with nothing. You're left with these random characters that are just...
Well, you said Conan is he's the main character, so you're always left with Conan. But not everybody dies in these books, Matt.
Just talking about how awesome Conan is.
They never do that. Sometimes Conan is recognized, like it's usually though for like I know you for being a knave, like a freebooter, or a well-known thief, or mostly for being a pirate.
A leader of a mercenary.
Yeah. They don't. It's never like, oh man, let's suck this guy's dick, man. He's so cool. He never gets. I don't think that, from what I can remember, he does not get that kind of reception.
And
then, the girls at the end after he saves them. Now, keep in mind he is doing them a solid. Now they may want to suck.
Conan just comes in and just starts doing like sword smash, and just let me kill everybody and woo, and
not even a nod to. And I'm sorry if I'm pausing here, but I can't let this stuff go by. Not even a nod to Howard's excellent, descriptives, for writing, just talking about like Conan. I remember this one distinct, I don't remember exactly, but he was comparing Conan fighting this guy and just how Robert E. Howard was just saying this guy was really, really good, and against anybody else, he would have bested him, but, he was fighting, Conan, and Conan threw in the Pantherish twist,
right.
And the killing stroke and all that. Robert E. Howard was so good at writing action. Again, if you don't believe me, you fucking freak, just look what Stephen King said about him. He said nobody could write action like Robert E. Howard. Pretty high praise.
There's nothing. I mean, all of the info you get on these interesting stories are happening off screen, and then what you get on screen is just boring
These are just lies, by the way.
Attack
I'm going to let it go, but
scenes
these
that
are
have-
lies.
That are nothing. Oh, now Conan's going to fight 6 guys. I wonder how that...
It reminds me of when Steve Carell in the 40-Year-Old Virgin is trying to he's trying to fake his way into like describing what breasts feel like. And he's called them like bags of sand. It's kind of like with the vibe I'm getting here, because he's just like pulling stuff and it's all wrong. Even if he only read 9 stories, he should have a pretty good idea of the way Howard writes and the character by that time. He's making stuff up.
It's going to go, yep, he's going to kill them all. Woo, go Conan. You're so awesome. And man, your sinewy muscles are just ripped. And look how your gleaming sweat just comes off your golden body. And
so
the
awesome.
women are just looking the same. And all of them want Conan. And like, Jesus, give me a break, Robert E. Howard.
Give me a break. I couldn't imagine that.
This guy sleeps with a feather boa.
A feather boa.
He sleeps with a feather boa, yeah.
I think he's
And that's okay.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Disco says you would think a gay guy would love Conan.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the way he was I think he secretly does, Disco. The way he was almost dripping
You know,
as
I
he
know it's
was.
weird. Hold off on this super chat for 1 second.
Yeah.
I had a brother that was in drug rehab, and we used to have to go to these meetings with these other parents and teenagers and such. And some of the people there were just like so naive as to what was going on. And this guy, his name was Jim, and he said, I got to stop you guys for 1 second. All this over Coca-Cola? And they were just like, it wasn't Coca-Cola. We're talking about Coke. And I just thought of like, what if someone thinks like, all this over Conan O'Brien?
Conan O'Brien. I never viewed Conan O'Brien that way. You went a long way for that laugh. I applaud you. Crazy.
Well, I had to set it up with like this guy with Coca-Cola.
Like DM James $2 again. Damn, thank you, James. I gotta say, we gotta give the MVP of the night to James. Well earned. My favorite stories are Conan versus the Picts.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard earlier, James. It's probably one of my favorite stories. Is the Thunder River one. It's so kind of somber and kind of reflective. Even in the writing, you can tell he had matured a little bit in the way he structured these stories. Just how it was sort of inevitable, and it got back. Of course, it's the quintessential story about barbarism overcoming civilization. Because civilization tried to put this outpost on this river by the Picts, and oh, Cal, good to see you. Yeah, we looked at your that video you showed me. You can watch it in the replay, the tabletop row. Yeah.
Well,
But
how long was your power out?
Yeah, how long were you out, Cal? Let us know. Nightbot has unvirgined me.
Cal, you might have some explaining to do if you were with Mary Boss.
That's right. Yeah. So read. If you're looking for, you need to refresh yourself. You're just looking for one good solid. There's plenty to look for, but that the Thunder River one is just so good. It's kind of so sad too, because, it's like civilization fails.
Right.
But this guy's, he doesn't understand these broad concepts. He doesn't understand why Howard, might have thought that.
Like, God, this is hard to stomach. So I'm done. I've done it. I read it. I'll never do it again. And I would never in a million years recommend this story to anybody unless...
This story. It says more than one story, dipshit. God, he just, like I said, it seems like he's faking it. Let's see here. Atsumori, I like this. Hey, Double D, love what you do. Keep it coming and keep it going. I'll get you coming and going, my friend. Thank you so much. I don't know what to say. I will say this before I forget. If you haven't seen, there's a very... it's not terribly well known, but there's a movie with Renee Zellweger and what's his name?
D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio. Yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio plays Robert E. Howard, and she plays Evelyn Noveline Price. His, I guess you could call him kind of his girlfriend. But he wasn't a real kind of romantic guy. He was kind of, unfortunately for him, his mom did a lot of damage to him, so he was kind of in love with his mom. Not in that way, but, he was a real kind of mama's boy, unfortunately. And that's why he killed himself. But what a good story. If you're just looking for like a good, respectful treatment of like Robert E. Howard, you'll find it. It's a really, really good movie. It's called The Whole Wide World. So if you've, I don't know if any of you have seen that, but look at this. He is like Santa Claus, isn't he? Mm-hmm. He always does this. Thank you, Mercurius.
Dude, you're so generous.
You are the man. Mercurius gifted.
You are my number one guy.
You are my number one guy. Yeah. Write these down. I'll get these drops. I'll get these drops for you.
You didn't leave me a pen and a paper. I'll get them after the show tonight. I got a whole bunch.
Use that elephant-like memory. All right, so let me go back here as we finish up the main part of the show. What seems like there's really not much to add here. Starlaw, 2 likes away from 100. All of you slackers, hit the like button, huh?
Should have about 150 likes tonight.
Yeah.
Starlaw says we're at 98.
Yeah. Meat says the 1989 Batman. That must be Tubi. It's making the rounds. It's on a lot of those like free channels that places like Pluto and places like that get now. I have Sling TV and they have something called Freeview, I think. So it's on there. Yeah, great movie.
Uh-oh.
For the Mongoose books, first or second edition? First edition, James. I know Crafty Matt likes. Holy smokes, we got something coming down the pike. Well, I do want to. Put that other one back up there. Yeah, I want to give that one its due. Hey, they're all good, small or large. James Bacon, $2. Thank you so much. I have the Die 20 first version. I know Crafty Matt. If you follow him on Twitter, he's a big fan of the other one. Didn't really get into it just because I have enough Conan role-playing stuff. The 2 Die 20 system didn't necessarily blow my skirt up. It seemed kind of interesting, though. So I'm not going to diss them. I don't like them as a company, Modifius, but hey. So thank you very much. Good Lord, man. Just get it at the top. Yeah, at the top. You can grab that. There you go. Howard, you are...
very generous.
Thanks a lot, man.
What did Uncle Junior say, when at the beginning of The Sopranos, you better come in heavy, right, to Tony? Didn't he warn him that?
Absolutely. Next time you come in, you better come in heavy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Howard Hughes comes in heavy. He just became the co-MVP of the night. You're all MVPs. Thanks for the stream, gents. Really appreciate your time as always. Howard, thank you so much. All I can say is I'm flattered. I'm honored that you give so much of your hard-earned money for just a knucklehead and his buddies. Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you.
$50.
So much.
Wow.
Thanks a lot. Thank you very, very much.
It is appreciated. All righty. Any other things we want to clean up here? I think we had a nice tight show tonight. Kept him entertained. Maybe we ought to let the main part of the show go. But for those of you that are into our sort of Prince Valiant style live play, we will do a little bit of Otto and Roland coming up here. So if that is not your deal, that's fine. You guys can head out. I'm sure there's other great streams going on that you can watch. Andy Bayless, $4.99 super chat. Keep up the good work and content. Oh wow!
Nice.
Oh wow! Thank you. Yes, thank you for giving us your hard-earned money. $4.99, Andy, and welcome. Thank you so much. I hope you stick around. I hope all of you guys stick around. This was a all-time high tonight. I think we were in the 160s. For a channel this size, I think anybody who's in the YouTube sphere knows that that is punching way above your weight. But that is kind of a that's kind of a nod to my friends here, who I do this with, who I'm comfortable around. And you guys too, who I'll never say we're a community, but we're just a gathering, a get together, a hangout, a hangout,
a murder,
a murder of these. Yeah, thank you.
Come
guys.
join the murder.
Yeah, come join the murder.
That's a song by the White Buffalo. Come join the murder.
Come join the murder.
Cool. I'm not familiar with them.
He's a singer, and he goes by the name White Buffalo, and he did a lot of songs for Sons of Anarchy, and their Sons of Anarchy motorcycle club, Redwood Original, is what it was called. So Sam Crow. So they were called the Crows a lot, and a bunch of crows is a murder of crows. So he sang a song called "Come Join the Murder." So there you go, a little background.
Yeah,
interesting.
Little we call that inside baseball, don't we?
Yeah, twib.
Twib. Yeah, thank you. Like I said, saw a lot of familiar faces, saw a lot of new ones. Like I said, if you liked what you saw, look, you're probably not going to like everything we do, but we do try to do some stuff.
Travis, you know what I'm talking about. There you go.
Oh, there you go. Travis is a good dude. Yep. See Travis on Twitter. He's here too. He's one of.
If you like what we're doing,
the hardcores.
Make a flyer. Go put it up at your local grocer. Get more people involved. Get some randos.
Your local church, as we talk about.
I told
this fucking guy.
I mentioned this earlier. I was at the bank. This would have been maybe about a year ago, and some lady said, "Are you a coach?" Double D, I think you know this story. She said, "Are you a coach?" And I said, "No. I have a daughter that swims and plays volleyball. Another daughter that is a swimmer as well." Mm-hmm. And she said, "No, that's not it. Something is going on. Like, I just recognize your voice." And I thought to myself, well,
did she?
I don't know, but
she a diver?
Maybe you're a diver. This is before your video, so we weren't called divers yet. So I don't know, but if you're out there listening,
yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So we're gonna switch over to the Otto and Roland site. And so if you want to see a little bit of live play or just keep hanging out, we do interact with the chat while we play.
Oh yeah, and sometimes they have some great input.
Yeah,
offering some excellent advice.
You might as well embrace it. If you're going to do it live, you might as well embrace it. And but to those of you that are taking off, thank you for coming, and I hope to see you next week. We will see you guys, like I said, soon. We'll see the rest of you right now.
That is yours?
It's yours.
Whoops. I cut away from that. I boomered it up. Can you believe that? How could I have done that? Take two.
That's why this lady knew me. I was calling those 1-800 numbers.
Okay. So here we are. Take the shades off. These are my boys. Just give me my boys.
That's my quarterback.
This is my quarterback. Otto and Roland, wanted for a crime that Roland committed, as he killed a guard that was guarding the paddy wagon during a time when they got sprung. So they have gone, if you look across that top, they have gone from Carlsfell over to Elpa, picked up a couple of people along the way, went south to Elpa, or from Elpa, I should say, to a village where they were starting to form maybe a semblance of normalcy. But unfortunately, this guy, the father, as we found out, of the guard that Rogan killed, that's this guy. Shame, shame, shame. The father is also one of the Lord's, guards. Is it perhaps his head guard? He will not stop, unfortunately. So Roland has had that sinking feeling in his gut for a while that this could be bad. So when they were in that little village south of Elpa, they ran afoul of a guard who was accompanied by a thief who witnessed Roland killing this guardsman. So they had to make an escape into the woods there. See if I can put the little "You Are Here" thing up. If you see where the "You Are Here" thing is,
it's right there.
Yeah, that's roughly where they are right now. Now in the woods, they came across a cabin where they found a magic using person, and he was kind of in a death struggle with a creature. See if I can show you. I actually got this book. Actually, the hard copy came today. It's the Bestiary. So this wizard in the woods, he excuse me for one moment here. They were frozen in time, and these boys broke them out, and then they helped the wizard get rid of this shadowy demon. Which I don't know why I can't.
Greg
find.
Myers is kicking it. Have a good night,
Yep.
Greg. Thank you.
Yep.
Good night,
See ya.
Greg.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that. Yeah.
He was a bucket of fun.
Yeah. So that thing was at the throat of this nice wizard named Rune Acker. And I think we left off shortly after there. You guys helped him get rid of it, and he paid you for the...
We tried to not take it.
Yeah.
He insisted. He also is picking up on the fact that perhaps we're on the run from something because he can tell we were not using our straight names.
Yep, but he didn't push it. He certainly had the right attitude. Now, if you can kind of see on screen there, these are the cost of some things. And you have this, which I don't think you have counted as of yet.
No, you told us.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
And what did you write down?
1,000. Correct?
I do believe, yeah. It's 1,000 in various mints. Of course, there's
Tora's out.
Tora's out. Yep. Good night. So you have a lot of money now. Well, you had none, after your escape from prison, and now you have a lot.
I think that our goal would be just a riding horse rather than a combat trained, only because I feel like a combat trained would draw more attention to us.
Yep.
Right. I agree.
All right. So where do you... where would you like to go? You're in the middle of the woods. You know that much right now. You do sort of know the layout of the land.
We know a stream is, off on the side.
It's a mighty river, not just a stream.
We
It's
talked
a
about
mighty
maybe
river.
going to Carlsfell.
Doubling back to the scene of the crime, essentially.
Yeah.
Right? All right. It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
I just feel as though he might not be looking there. He's out somewhere else.
Yep. And by he, we mean
him,
Christopher Lee, aka Bernard. Are either of you? Neither of you are like woodsmen, right?
I am not.
Okay. All right. So let's. I'm not. Yeah. If you kind of had that in your backstory, I would say let's just say you can find your way out without getting turned around. But I will give you. Why don't we just make? Maybe make a bushcraft roll, but you can do it with a boon, which means you roll both dice and you take the lowest result.
Both of us?
10 and a 2. So I got a 2.
I got a 9 and a 5.
So this worked.
Yeah. So you guys both make it, actually. You both. All right, so you can kind of wend your way out of the woods. Now, you do have one horse with you, and that's the horse that you stole from the village. You don't have much else, remember?
That is correct.
So you're gonna be starting over, essentially.
Correct.
Okay. So let's say, just kind of being safe takes up, most of that morning and into the late afternoon. When you start, the woods start thinning, and you see the road here. Get rid of Bernard here. You see the road. The great north-south road, which leads, through south through Duborg and eventually to the port city of Civ, and then, of course, up north to the to this regional capital. Remember, you are part of a larger empire. This is just a region of it.
We can go to, as we're walking and talking, I suggest maybe we can go to Carlsfell. Double D, could you move it to the side so we can see what's on the other side of the river? Like, that makes a triangle.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Can you see the mouse? What's on this side?
Oh, yeah, I don't think I... hold on, maybe I... let's see here. Yeah, okay, yeah, so there's a bigger view, yep.
Let's go to Carlsfell. Maybe we could catch a boat and go down that other river, down to that port town.
Right.
So you definitely are going to head north then when you hit the road, because you're starting to come out of the woods.
Yeah.
And already you can kind of see this is a heavily trafficked road because you can see horses, whinnying by.
Right.
You can see coaches, going along this road. And this is one of the main roads. You would consider this almost like a Roman road.
Okay.
It is engineered to handle a lot of traffic, and it does indeed.
The King's Road.
It is. It's an emperor, but it is. We'll call it the Lord's Road, Lord Magnus's road. He has runs a very tight ship, for the emperor, or I'm sorry, the king, King Holvaster, and Queen Leonora.
Go to Carlsfell. Blend in, inquire about taking a boat trip down that other river on the opposite side.
Yep. Now you do know there's not many ports down there. You do know Civ is the only true port.
Major port. Yep.
Yeah. Now it's not to say there's you've heard of people kind of catching boats there, and of course there's always fishermen along the coast. Just because you don't see a settlement doesn't mean what you don't see are all the villages. That
Double D.
are
How about
unseen.
we take the boat down the opposite one and skirt the bottom of the land and make our way to Civ that way? That would take the long way there.
Mm-hmm.
Take the left fork.
Yeah,
and then
go to Civ just the long way, and that would give a long time of Christopher Lee not finding us.
Yep. All right. Well, it sounds like whatever you're doing, as you're coming out, you're now within full view of the road, and yeah, it is a mighty road. It can handle two-way traffic. It is laid stone, beautifully engineered. Like I said, think of like a Roman road when you're thinking of this road. I'll go back to the blow up map. Yeah. So you are right about here where the black "You Are Here" marker is. One thing you do see, maybe it's disquieting, maybe it isn't, but you do see a group of 4 guardsmen, under Lord Magnuson, just marching slowly. They're actually not on horseback. They are walking, 4 of them, and they are going towards Carlsfell. There is, like I said, a lot of caravans going both directions, full of goods. And then there's, of course, just people, messengers, people traveling.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to get the impression that this is a very well-used road.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
when you picture yourself on this road, don't picture it empty for very long. Maybe there are stretches, but for the most part, you're going to see somebody coming or somebody coming up behind you.
Maybe
Something
we should
like that.
strike up conversations with a caravan and just kind of hang with them. And
It's not a bad idea. Blend in.
Right.
Did you want to wait for the next caravan?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
How are you both on the horse right now?
He can ride. I'll walk.
Well,
and
no,
then
no,
we
no,
can take
no,
turns.
No, I'll walk.
We'll take turns. So I'm walking right now.
All right. Okay.
Very good. All right. So you see after maybe about 10 minutes of looking, you see kind of a ramshackle cart. It is a wagon. It's covered. And you see one man driving it with just 2 horses, but he's going pretty slow.
I'll ask him I'll ask him where he's going.
All right. So you see him. He kind of has the not like grizzled prospector, but he has a full kind of white beard.
Okay.
A little bit of salt. I'm sorry, a little bit of pepper, but mostly salt. He's wearing a hat to keep the sun out of his eyes. And he says, "Well, how do you do?"
I'm doing good. And are you headed towards Carlsfell?
Indeed, I am. I'm
May I
selling my wares.
May I have a ride the rest of the way? And I'd be glad to pay you.
Well, I'd be glad for the company, sir. Your friend's not going to get jealous there, is he?
No. In fact, we were just 2 strangers heading in the same direction. In fact, he's just going to ride ahead.
Very good. He says, "Yeah,
I will do that."
He kind of moves over a little. He says, "If you look back there, you might even find a pillow. You're more than welcome to use it, or you could buy it if you wanted to." He says, "Oh, don't worry about
Captain
that."
Stern.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Our friend Captain Stern. Yeah. He says, "What's your name, son?"
Craven.
"Well, Craven, my name's Arn."
Arn, good to meet you.
"Good. I've been traveling this road, well, I got to say, most of my adult life. Picking up trinkets and what people need down in Civ, selling them in Carlsfell."
A businessman.
"Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I have myself a little bit of a cottage on the outskirts of Carlsfell. Got a nice fireplace. Got a nice, I got a daughter who helps me out. In fact, I'm meeting her up in Carlsfell."
How far of a travel is it from here to Carlsfell, Arn?
So let's see. You're there. It's about 5 miles per hex. So you're looking at
Tomorrow?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah, it'll be in the morning. If he just kind of going at like a leisurely pace, he's not going breakneck. He says he's been traveling and he's actually ready to stop, at about I guess it would be kind of like 10 p.m.
If you don't mind the company, I'll still stay with you and I will still take you up on that ride all the way to Carlsfell. I don't mind the pause.
Yeah. He says, when it's nice like this, I generally just kind of bundle up in the back of that wagon. I'm afraid it might be a little tight. What I can do is stop at one of the villages along the way. If you have money for a room, I can simply park the wagon there.
That sounds fantastic.
Okay. And you're just kind of riding ahead, Roland?
Just a little bit ahead.
Yeah. All right. He's starting to, he's talking your ear off. He's talking about his daughter, Sylvia. Mentions her a lot. She does help him out. You get the impression from the way he's talking. They have almost like a storefront in Carlsfell.
The mercantile.
Yeah, a mercantile. Yes. All right. So it was late in the day anyway, and of course, soon darkness sprawls in front of you and encompasses you, and
I don't want him to see how much money actually. Roland, who would have it?
You.
I'm the one that did have it.
Yeah, you would have it.
So you would have it.
I have it.
You have
I do
it.
not want him to have any idea of how much I have.
Yeah. He doesn't seem to be the nosy kind.
Yeah.
He's kind of talking mostly about himself, but then occasionally he'll
when
ask.
he mentions getting a room, absolutely when we stop at an inn for a room, I'll ask him if he wants a room or if he wants to just leave his, sleep in his trailer or in his wagon like he normally does. We can go inside for a nice meal.
Yep. So I tell you what, he stops at one of the villages, the Wayside Inn, and
do you notice this stop in Roland?
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, if I kind of, I kind of drift in that direction as on the horse as well, kind of like. Yeah. I'm watching as much as I can. Trying to.
Let's put it this way: the man's not dumb. He sees Roland keeping his pace. He knows that you two are, together, somehow at least, right. Together, even if it's just temporary. But he's not saying anything.
Yeah.
I understand though your paranoia about it. Good night, TK HFG. Yeah. Good to see you. So you stop, at the Wayside Inn. He starts to just get down and stretch. It's just like I said, a little bit off the main road. It seems lively, but it's obviously got to be a lot of travelers. And in fact, you do see a couple of other wagons parked there. It's like a truck stop.
that I-80 truck stop.
It's the I-80 truck stop. Yeah, it's trucker showers here. Yep. It's like a big bucket.
Watch out for those lot lizards.
Yeah. The lot lizards. So Arn says, this is a good place. They do serve a fair meal here. And you can find a reasonable room if they have it. He says, I would bet they do. This is a big inn. This is meant for travelers.
Okay.
So it's think of like a highway hotel.
Right.
They.
Well, when we get there, I'll go inside and ask if they have rooms available.
Yeah. All right. So you go inside. You've seen this before. There's nothing. There's no minstrel playing. There's no bard playing. But it is lively. You hear people, laughing, having a good time, telling stories. It's it's just what you need, because when you do ask, it's they do have rooms for let. Yeah.
I'll ask Arn if he wants a room.
Now, he says no, he's going to get something to eat, but he'll say he likes to save money. He says, if I travel this road so much, if I stayed at an inn, it would just cut into my profits.
Understandable.
As you can see, this is a separate, they do have separate rooms available. There's also a bigger common room for 1 silver, or you can get the separate rooms for 5 per.
I'm going to take this inn up on that haircut.
You getting a haircut?
Yeah.
Huh?
I'm going to change my identity as slight as I can. Clean up. New clothes,
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll say you do see someone trimming hair. As we'll say it's because it is in an inn. We'll say it's as you were walking in. You see someone. You see a lass doing it. By the torchlight. So if you want to question her and see if she'll do it for you.
Haircut, and then not her to give me a bath, but a bath, new clothes.
Well, keep in mind this is just an inn. Like those weren't prices just for this place. Those are like general prices.
Well, maybe if any of
you can get a bath.
Maybe if any of these merchants have clothing.
Yeah, the bath for sure.
But I'm saying double any of the merchants maybe going back and forth from Civ to Carsfell.
Yeah.
Maybe if anybody has any new clothes.
All right.
I would have been tying up the horse and then walking in, so I would have probably came in at the tail end of your inquiry.
All right. Well,
that sounds good.
If you want to start, asking people, there's plenty of merchants here. There's probably some townies, as you might suspect too. It's a pretty good mix too of men and women. Foot massage, no tickling, no, says Travis.
No
Bed Bath and Beyond. Yeah. All right. So well, the first thing is you do see the woman cutting the man's hair, and she, you get the impression that they are like she's with him, but she's flattered. She says, "I'd of course I'd cut your hair."
Absolutely, thank you.
Yeah, she's probably a little bit. She's probably like in her 30s, so older than you.
Mm-hmm.
Her body's a little matronly, but still very kind, and has a good smell about her.
Yeah.
She says, she just asks, would you like it very short, sir?
Yeah.
The guy that she was cutting, he just kind of smiles and says, I'm going to go in and get us dinner. And she just kind of starts talking your ear off, how they're just, they're traveling from Duborg up to Carlsfell for, just for family.
Right.
So I try to get your attention a little bit, and I go,
yeah.
Come over and ask.
You too?
Yeah, I will ask. I wouldn't if I could take you up on that if you don't mind.
She kind of laughs. She's like, well, being a barber is not my trade, but she says, well, I can do a quick one. She says, my husband will probably be wondering. Perhaps I can just go, straight across in the back, and
sure, that would be mightily appreciated.
You'll have to take her word for it. She doesn't have a mirror. She just says, you look great to you, Craven. And she does kind of ask your name. What do you
Dale.
give? Dale. Oh, Dale. Yes. Her husband peeps his head out about halfway through, and he says, "Oh, you're doing another one?" And he's starting to like kind of look like, okay,
making money.
Yeah, all right. Travis IHOP MILF. All right, so yeah, you can tell she's kind of rushing. So I'm not going to say you get a bad haircut, but
right.
She just cuts it real short.
Sure.
Okay, so consider yourself almost like a buzz cut now. She just taking like big clumps. And she says, I can even that out in the morning if you're staying overnight. She says, I'll do it in the daylight. She says, my eyes are getting a little tired now, and I need food.
Oh, absolutely.
She pats her belly.
Thank you so much for helping me out.
Yep. So inside,
after the haircuts, we'll go get some food.
Yeah, and inside, Aaron is there, and he motions you over, and says, "Come on down."
All right.
He says, "Well, we'll get the special."
I'll take him up on it, and
by the way, she takes no money for that haircut. She was doing that as a favor.
Oh.
Yeah.
And they're in the same restaurant having a meal with us?
Yes.
We'll, call the server over. We'll pay for their meal, our meal, and ask if Arn wants a meal as well.
Arn says, "Oh, I already got mine. Thank you."
Okay.
But you're paying for the woman that cut your hair
And her husband.
Yeah.
Because she didn't charge us for their
Yeah.
cut.
She thanks you. They do accept, and she thanks you. She says, "I'll definitely clean that up in the morning." It's not a terrible haircut. It's just it's just a little uneven in places.
I'll just ask Arn, do any of these travelers look familiar? Any of them,
He says, "Oh yes, oh gosh, yes, yeah. I know. That one over there." He's pointing to a couple of merchants.
Do any of them sell like clothing?
He says, "Yes, that one over there does." He says, "I sell some." He says, "But I'm not sure. I might have. It's mainly women's clothing." He says, "I do have a couple of men's things." He says, "But I have a feeling it's not your style."
I'll definitely go over and strike up a conversation with the gentleman that he pointed out.
Yeah.
And I'll ask him. I'll say, I'm definitely interested in, some new clothing. And I heard you're the man to come talk to.
He says, "Oh, for sure." He says,
something in my size and also something perhaps from my friend.
Yes. He's just finishing up. He takes his drink. He wipes his mouth. Says, "Out front, if you don't mind. That's where my wagon is."
I'll follow.
Yep. Out front, you see somebody essentially guarding the wagon there. Must be one of his compatriots. This person is it's a younger lad. He's just kind of like sleeping, sitting up. He's like, "Wake up!" He's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Go get this." He lights a lantern, and pretty soon, it's like Old Navy. He's got stuff laid out on a board across. You find some duds that are nice. That'll change your look a little bit.
Some new short clothes, some new overclothes, new boots.
Yep.
And the same for me, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yep. So. Let's say for everything. All right, so you're each getting separate rooms, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're paying for some. Okay, so that's not too. All right, so why don't we say, for everything, let's say about four gold.
For 2 rooms, 4 meals,
Yeah.
and 2 sets of clothes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And you are set. You have a full belly. The man, shakes your hand. Pleasure doing business with you.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. And you have, we'll say you have 2 new outfits, each of you. All right. The room you find is well used, let's say, but clean enough. This place gets this is like a Motel 6.
Mm-hmm.
So it gets a lot of use just because of its, I want to say maybe it's midway point almost, at least between Duborg and, Carlsfell. Or I'm sorry, yeah, because you're actually, by the time you moved up, you are about right about there. Okay. So if we're content, we just go to the morning.
Yeah.
Yep. The woman is very conscientious. She's waiting downstairs. As soon as she sees you come down, she says, "Oh, before your breakfast, let me clean that up."
Absolutely.
Yeah, she does a good job. You can kind of feel it's getting a little bit more even now, and she even comes over and touches you up a little, crazy mouse.
Okay.
Says, "Thank you so much for dinner for me and my husband.
Absolutely.
Means a lot, and especially for something I like doing, for him." So. She says, "Great. We're taking off right now.
Safe travels.
Yeah, safe travels, and perhaps we'll see each other in Carlsfell."
Mm-hmm.
So, boom, they go. And Arn comes down and says, "Well, are you ready to hit the road?"
I am, absolutely.
Cash, grass, or ass? Which is it? All right.
He's got no shame in his game.
Into the back you go. All right, so you get in Arn's wagon, and he says, you can come beside us. You may have to move when traffic's coming the other way, but I'd love to talk to you. He kind of sets himself in between you. Yeah. So in other words, you're sitting on the one end, he's in the middle, and then you're riding your horse, on the road there. He's a very good-hearted man, this Arn, you can tell.
When we get to Carlsfell, Arn, I'll say we are in the market to buy another horse. Mm-hmm. Do you know of anybody that has a horse salesman or farmer?
Now keep in mind you've been in Carlsfell. There are, but maybe if you want to ask him like who has the best prices.
Oh, and also we don't want to go back to anywhere we used to go.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I go to Joe's. Shit, that's where we always went.
That's where I got arrested.
Yeah. So, do remember Carlsfell is a very big city.
Right.
So he points out a couple of places mentally in your mind. Mm-hmm. You're like, ooh, that district. No. And then like, ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Wait, the eastern, part of the city.
Yeah.
He says, yeah, that he always provides me with the times I've had to replace my horses. I've done business with him, and he's good.
All right, mental note.
Yep. All right. So you're going at a very leisurely pace, but you will get there before dark. Soon you are traveling up the road. And you start seeing the outskirts of Carlsfell. And I got to say, maybe Roland, you're starting to get a little sweaty.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Probably.
I'm trying to hide my nervousness as much as I possibly can.
Sign of the... But yeah, you're just, because part of it is too, you're seeing a lot of guardsmen. Of course, they're not paying you any mind. I mean, they're just doing their thing. Some of them are on foot. Some of them are on horseback, going south, sometimes coming up behind you, going back north.
Roland is thinking that, well, gosh, I hope this haircut is enough to disguise me.
Yep. So here's what happens. You're looking to get over the bridge, and into part of the city, because obviously, there's built on a river. This is built on. There's bridges in a lot of the city, but the initial bridge that gets a lot of use. You can see traffic is backed up.
Uh-oh. Okay.
And it's essentially like a traffic jam. He's like, what is this? Don't tell me they're doing something. Mm-hmm. Now he's on a wagon. He's on the road. So let me know if you want to do anything else. Rogan.
I'll trot up along the side and kind of get an idea what's going on.
Yep.
And then.
All right, so you go up for a ways, and then you get kind of close, and you see a picket wall of guardsmen, standing there, along the side of the road, that the bridge is on. They're facing outward, and they're not allowing anybody to enter. Oh. And then you do hear one guy say, "Don't even try it." Lord Lundstrom is heading back to his castle, and we have to wait. He just kind of rolls his eyes.
It's like at Disney when the drawbridge is up.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yep. All right, so you see in about 10 minutes, he's getting the celebrity treatment, man. He's late. They're closing the bridge, but you see a very large gilded coach with 4 magnificent stallions, white stallions, driving this coach. You see like soldiers now, not just guardsmen, but like soldiers riding along the side, and it passes in like a rush, like whoosh, whoosh. Probably a good 50 men. He's in the town that's right by his castle, but he he travels heavy. Pretty soon, the bridge is cleared. But while you're doing that and seeing that, Crazy Mouse, Otto, out of the corner of your eye, you notice two men coming up, like behind the wagon that you're on with Arn. You just kind of like looking around. You just spot him, and one ends up coming up, to the side and just says, "Hey." Now he's a younger guy, a little skeevy looking, it must be said. He's got kind of thinning hair already, but you can tell he's younger, just by his voice. Kind of greasy, even a little pimply. And he says, "Excuse me, do you know what all this is about?" Now, keep in mind, unless he's reported back, you might not know. So let's just say it's before he reports back and you don't know.
And I'll just say I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, man. Something, huh?
And there was two of them?
Yeah.
But I only see one of them right now?
Yeah.
My attention will go to where the other one is. Like,
you don't see him.
I know. I'm trying to spot him.
He's looking at you. He's like, "You looking for something, friend?"
No, just looking around. I'm going to check the wagon to make sure no one's back in there.
Hey, he kind of grabs up at you and says, "Hey, you know what I think this might be? I think this might be our Lord Lundstrom." He literally grabs you by the clothing, and kind of like pulling you aside.
I will
down.
Turn again away from him, brush him off, and I will look in the rear of the wagon.
Okay, when you go back there, you see the other guy rifling through the back,
and I'll, halt something in that. Arn, we have an intruder, right?
All right, so the guy that was talking to you, kind of like "let's go" you, any attempt to grab you, he starts taking off. The other guy starts running, as well, but he's got like stuff. He's running off road, like kind of on the side you came from, that side of the road.
Okay. On horse, or is he walking?
Walking.
I'll jump down. I'll go after him.
Okay.
And I'll say, "Arn, he just took some of your belongings."
That little shit, he says.
Yeah, I'll take off after him.
We'll say, just as you're doing this, why don't we say you're coming back to report on what's going on? Right. All right. So you come back and you see Otto in headlong, flight. Right. And you're like, "What's going on?" And then you see he's chasing two guys.
To the best of my knowledge, this guy, from all that he disclosed, he does, pillows, but also women's clothing.
Yes.
Right. So he's
got a little variety there. He probably has like some kind of curiosity
someone
shop.
Travis. He said, "Oh my gosh, he has the pillows."
Oh,
Actually,
no.
Surly said the same thing. Do you know how many ducks I had to pluck for those?
All right.
I'm not out to kill this man or anything like that. Just to tackle him and get the belongings back.
All right, so these two blobs are... those are the guys that are running. Now that you see Otto, as you look, they're young, just like you. So, they're not easy to overtake. I tell you what, why don't we just make a... we'll do a...
Die 8?
Let's do a... no, not a die 8. We don't have to go to that trouble. Roll your... roll your dexterity. Or, I'm sorry, your agility.
I missed it. I rolled a 15.
Okay. I rolled a 19 and a 6. So one of them is actually the one
pulling away.
The one who stole the goods is actually pretty fast. This dude is fucking fast.
Okay.
The greaseball, the dirtbag who was trying to, obviously be a decoy. He's starting to fall back. But then you notice that Roland is coming by with a horse.
And I'm on it.
And I'll say, get the other one. He has the goods.
Mm-hmm. All right. You, I'll tell you what, let's do one more. You're on horse. You will be able to ride down the guy with the goods. Okay. So that's already decided. Cause he can't outrun a horse. But you guys are kind of keeping equidistant. Let's do another,
Okay. I rolled a 15 again.
He rolled a 20.
Oh.
Which is bad in this. Remember, you want low rolls. He stumbles.
Oh, I'm going to jump right on top of him.
Yep. He stumbles. I'll tell you what, let's go into combat now.
Okay.
Do a quick little combat here. All right. Shuffle these cards up. All right, so first one is we'll do Otto. Otto is a 5. Roland, you are a 2.
Makes sense. He's on a horse.
Yeah. And the other guys are a 3. So it'll be Roland, the villains, such as they are, and then you, Otto. Okay, so you're running your horse. This guy, he sees you. What do you want to do? He's almost surprised, that someone on a horse is like running him down for, his arm full of stuff. This is like shoplifting, I guess,
Right.
based on what he has. What do you want to do?
I would run to him swiftly and either boot him or run the horse into him. I'd rather not destroy any of the goods.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you wish, you could make a riding roll.
Sure.
Try to run him down a little bit. You need a 10.
5.
You needed a 10. You got a 5, so that's good. Remember, low is good in this game. We're playing Dragonbane. Yes. Okay. So, we don't want to belabor this. You handle the horse magnificently and run him down. There you go. I don't want to do the chasing 8s game all the time, Overkill Joe. Especially for something like this. But now it's you.
It's him.
It's him and you.
Yeah.
So this guy drops his stuff and he's out of it. He just got run down by a horse. Surprisingly, as you're coming up on him, he pulls out a small little dagger, like it's almost like a stiletto.
You're talking about me, right?
Yeah, the guy on you. Yeah,
Okay.
he falls down, and just as you're coming at him, he fumbles on the ground and pulls out the stiletto, and he's going to try to get you as you're trying to kind of jump on him.
Okay.
So let's see if he's successful. All right, so now his knives skill is only going to be 8. So he needs an 8 or under. And he rolled a 9.
What is, I can parry or dodge if I haven't gone yet.
You can. Remember, you do have to declare that first. So it worked to your advantage here because remember, you do have to give up your turn. So now you get to go.
Okay.
So you can...
so he did not hit with a 9?
He did not hit. No, he had an 8 skill, so he needs an 8 or under. So what do you wish to do? You're kind of committed to you said jump on him, right?
Yeah.
All right, so why don't we do like maybe an unarmed strike? Brawling, perhaps?
Okay. 4.
Nice.
Sweet.
I'm gonna jump on top of him, and it is a free action. I'm like, really, a knife over this?
He says, I'm not going to jail for this.
Like, you don't have to go to jail. Just get the fuck out of here. And now, remember, I'm quick-tempered.
Yeah.
I'm pissed that this guy brought like something so violent into this. Like, I could kill you right now. And
So you're trying to kind of...
I kind of like bash his hand against the ground to take that knife, like to make it fall out of his hand. And then just, if it's time to do the new cards, it is. But that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to knock that knife out of his hand and tell him to get the hell out of here. After I can see in the distance that his friend's already been subdued, right?
Yeah.
Because this all would have happened in front of me as I was
true.
running, right?
I'll tell you what, why don't you roll a persuasion, but give yourself a boon, because I see where you're coming from. You're using your quick-tempered. I like it, so roll 2 dice. Take the lowest.
Persuasion.
Yeah, see if you can convince this guy to, like, give up.
Which one's persuasion?
You need a 6.
Oh, it's the one that's called persuasion.
yeah.
A 3 and a pair of 3s.
A pair of 3s, that'll do it. He says, fine. He says, I'll sheath it. He says, just let me keep it. Life's tough on the streets of Carlsfell.
You leave this man alone in the future. Do you understand?
We won't. Yeah, we won't. Look, we just saw it, man. We're looking for stuff to, to sell.
And I will let him go with a quick crack to his chops and
smack, smack. That's fine. And maybe just then you come over and
I help him. I'm going to walk on over and I'm going to help him gather this stuff up.
All right. You see Arn has pulled off to the side of the road. He's got a big smile on his face. But the first thing he says is, oh, you didn't hurt him too bad, did you?
No.
Oh.
Just a good crack in the mouth.
Mother be praised. Well, look, it's a great day. I've met 2 friends. I had my stuff stolen, but it's all been returned to me. I owe you so much. You didn't have to risk your lives for that. Thank you. Is there anything I can do for you?
Just what we asked. Point us in the direction of who can sell us a nice horse. Yeah. And our goal is to get to the other river. We would know the name of the river if we're from Carlsfell.
Yeah. So we can handle that next time. Okay. Like I said, we don't want to belabor this. This is not we're not doing an all-night thing. We like to do it in little digestible chunks. So you met Arn Fjord, and he's talked about his daughter, and he definitely gives you the name of a
horsemonger.
Yeah. Yep.
Horse trader.
Let's see what the chat's saying. Nice and quiet, like, yeah. Women's clothing and pillows. So he's selling to a brothel then.
So be it.
It would have been respectable, Joe. They were stealing it. Yep.
I will tell Arn these 2 will never bother you again.
Yeah. He says, well, that's good to hear. Yeah, you see them scampering the opposite direction. Once the other one was kind of in Queersville after, he got run down. But he's up, and they're both kind of like walking. And they don't seem to be looking back, which is always a good sign. All right. Well, hope you guys enjoyed that. That's just our little... That is just our little
live play.
Yeah, a little live play. We like to do it.
Tune in next week. We'll LARP it.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Get to see Crazy Mouse in person. So thank you guys for sticking around. It's always appreciated. Those of you hardcores that stuck around. I think at one point we still had like 90 people. So we ended up with 60. It's great. You can keep following the adventures here. We do this most live streams unless we're really jammed up with like guests and stuff, or we're just tired. But yeah, we've been kind of telling this story. It's kind of cool that Roland has this guilt about killing this guard, and these guys are just always looking over their shoulder for something that was kind of a split-second decision, right?
And we're trying to start anew in a new city. That's our goal, is to get to that other river and down the river.
Yeah. They're just
we
very...
don't have to go up the river.
They've been almost busted like a couple of times, if you haven't seen some of the earlier ones. So they're just trying... They're a little paranoid, so they're just trying to get away safely and go to places unknown. So, all right. Thank you all. What a night. New record. I thought the show went great.
I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah. Yep. Tell you what, I'll give you guys a little music on the way out. I downloaded some music videos. I think you guys will like this one. It's probably take a while to end, but this is your treat for being such a good audience. Thanks again for all the super chats, guys. All you regulars that stick around to the end. Meat, Surly, Overkill Joe, Travis. Yep.
Panther was here. Where's Panther?
Panther was here.
Yeah, Panther. Yep, Boone Flyer. Yep, thank you guys for participating, and those of you that are just listening too. That's great. That's great as well. All right. I will see you guys next week. Look for a video. I'll be working on that MCDM video probably this weekend. So you guys take care and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Peace.